Chen found himself transmigrated into a novel world only to discover he had become the ultimate villain boss. The absurd part was that the novel had 32 protagonists. Moreover, every single one of them was a cheat user with the system. Fortunately, at the critical moment, the Destiny villain system awakened. In the forbidden land of the Imperial Su family in the Jotian realm. Have I transmigrated? In the darkness, Chen slowly opened his eyes, his gaze full of confusion. He turned his head to look around at his surroundings. This was an oval-shaped enclosed space filled with a mysterious liquid, and he was currently immersed in it. Yet strangely, he felt no suffocation at all. Instead, a warm and comfortable sensation enveloped his entire body. Wait, my body. How did it suddenly become so small? Chen turned in panic and discovered that his body had somehow turned into that of an infant. His mind raced. Soon he reached a conclusion. It seemed he had not only transmigrated, but had also transmigrated into an infant. Thinking this, Chen couldn't help but take a deep breath, forcing himself to calm down. As a young man of the 21st century, he was already accustomed to the idea of transmigration. After all, even if he hadn't eaten pork, he had seen pigs run. Transmigration plots were common in novels. In his memory, he had been staying up late reading a popular fantasy novel called Lord of the Nine Heavens. He was sympathizing with the villain boss who shared his name when suddenly he fainted. When he woke up again, he was here. Could it be? I've transmigrated into the world of Lord of the Nine Heavens. Chen guessed randomly. Then in the next moment, a strange and brief memory flashed through his mind like a panorama. After a quick scan, Chen couldn't help but take a deep breath. Indeed, it was just as he had guessed. He had indeed transmigrated into the fantasy world of the novel Lord of the Nine Heavens, and he had become the villain boss who shared his name, Chen. Of course, that wasn't the main point. The main point was that Lord of the Nine Heavens was famous in its previous life for its vast world background and excellent ensemble. And the absurd part was that the number of protagonists in this book was as high as 32. The story began with a real-life high school class reunion. After the class reunion, when everyone was about to go home, a strange phenomenon occurred on Earth. A huge altar appeared outside the planet, carrying the moon to crash into the 9 provinces. Thereupon, all 32 students from that class reunion transmigrated into the Jotian realm. The Jotian realm was grand beyond measure, with supreme sacred lands, forbidden imperial clans, immortal dynasties, standing in tripartite opposition, myriad races roaring, and geniuses contending. And each realm of the Jotian realm was vast, such that an ordinary person could not leave a small corner, even in a lifetime. In this book, besides the absurd setting of 32 protagonists, the most absurd part was that all 32 protagonists had their own systems. Thinking of this, Chen couldn't help but take a deep breath. According to the novel, the setting of this villain boss is the posthumous son of an ancient emperor born prematurely, leading to congenital deficiency. So his father Su Tianqing sealed him within the immortal source to supplement his deficiency. After he breaks out of the immortal source, he becomes the sole forbidden imperial child of the Imperial Su family, with a status high above, overlooking all living beings in the 9 heavens. His talent is heaven-defying, rare through the ages, and he is said to have the potential to surpass his father and step beyond the great emperor realm. It can be said that in the early stages, Chen was radiant, a true, unparalleled prodigy, overwhelming all his peers. But later he encountered the protagonist group, was constantly schemed against, ganged up on, his Tao heart shattered, and finally beaten into a pulp. The Su family behind him was also destroyed by the protagonists, allied with the sacred lands and dynasties. As for his childhood sweetheart and confidants, they were all seduced by the protagonist group one by one, and even stabbed Chen in the back. Murmuring to himself, Chen recalled the novel's plot, thinking that these events would truly happen to him in the future. Chen felt a sense of premature death. Why of all the transmigrations did he have to become a villain with such a tragic end? Although after his birth he would become the forbidden imperial child of the Su family, with a status as noble as a divine dragon, and few could rival him. But the problem was that soon after he would be relentlessly schemed against and ganged up on by the protagonist group. In the original plot, the villain Chen was extremely powerful. In single combat, he could easily crush any one or even several of the protagonists. But the problem was, there wasn't just one protagonist. There were 32, all with systems. And his confidants and childhood sweetheart would betray him at the critical moment. The future, schemed against, ganged up on, betrayed by confidants, the family destroyed. This ending is too tragic. Chen felt terrible at this moment, being ganged up on and schemed against by 32 system-wielding protagonists. Probably no villain in the entire web novel world had it as bad as him. Just as he was extremely helpless, considering whether to stay hidden in the immortal source forever, never to emerge. A cold, mechanical, synthetic voice suddenly rang in his mind. Ding, detected a villain transmigrator. Destiny villain system binding. Binding in progress, please wait. Binding complete. Sign-in function activated. Mission function activated. PS completing system missions will grant the host generous rewards and Destiny Villain points. Destiny Villain points can be used in the system shop to purchase any item from the myriad worlds and can also be used to add points and upgrade divine ability proficiency. PS breaking through cultivation levels also grants Destiny Villain points. Devour function activated. PS for each Destiny protagonist the host kills the system will automatically devour their system. The host will receive extremely generous rewards and a Destiny chest will drop. System shop lock PS unlocked when Destiny Villain points reach 1000. Sign-in location released inside the immortal source. Does the host wish to sign in now? Listening to the continuous mechanical synthetic voice in his Chen felt a shock run through his body. As a transmigrator, he naturally knew what the existence of a system meant. A golden finger. A tool to change his fate. Something to fight against the 32 cheaters. Thinking this, Chen no longer hesitated. Taking a deep breath, he silently recited in his heart system. Sign in. System. Sign in. As Chen made his choice, the cold mechanical synthesized voice from the system echoed continuously in his mind. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for successfully signing in. Congratulations to the host for receiving the reward Innate Sacred Body Tao Embryo. Congratulations to the host for receiving the reward Reincarnation Eyes. Congratulations to the host for receiving the reward Supreme Bone. Congratulations to the host for receiving the reward Indestructible Scripture. Boom. The moment the system's voice fell, Chen felt his body tremble, and a mysterious energy suddenly appeared within him. Under the transformation of this mysterious energy, his body underwent earth-shattering changes. Streams of primal power surged wildly into his body. Countless profound runes spread across his chest, intertwining and then evolving into a bone as pure as jade. On this divine bone, numerous golden inscriptions shimmered. These inscriptions exuded an immense aura, radiating a chilling energy that made one's heart palpitate. Supreme Bone, the bone of a born supreme, containing the essence of the Tao. Those who possess this bone are born supreme, transcendent, and endowed with innate divine abilities. 10,000 Calamity Divine Light. 10,000 Calamity Divine Light. The supreme divine ability evolved from the first ray of destructive divine light at the dawn of creation, capable of slaying gods, subduing demons, vanquishing monsters, and annihilating the heavens and earth. As the innate supreme bone took shape, in the next moment Chen's pupils began to transform. Stars fell, the 6 realms of samsara, myriad beings kneeling, and the gods offering sacrifices. Various terrifying visions flashed through his. At this moment, his eyes gradually became profound, as if they contained the entirety of the universe within their depths. Reincarnation eyes. Those born with reincarnation eyes are born as gods, born as saints, supreme and wholly invincible by nature, having never suffered defeat throughout history. Abilities heavenly eye. One glance determines life, another glance determines death, dominating the life and death of all beings. Unlocked primal eye sees through the illusions of the world, can instantly capture enemy weaknesses, and infinitely slow down their movements. Unlocked reincarnation space. Unlocked eye of creation. Unlocked Tao divine armor. Unlocked ultimate secret of reincarnation. Unlocked. With the supreme bone and reincarnation eyes completed, next came the innate sacred body Tao embryo. Chen felt a surge of energy akin to the primal essence suddenly merging into his body. Boom. A terrifying aura exploded, that strange energy continuously circulating through his limbs, bones, and heart. The blood coursing through his body seemed to boil and burn, and the intense pain made him grit his teeth. This was the innate sacred body Tao embryo, replacing his constitution and roots. If there were anyone around at this moment, they would surely see Chen with what seemed like a true dragon of the 9 heavens coiling within him, his vitality soaring like a blazing sun. In a daze, Chen saw himself standing at the end of time, overlooking the river of time. God, demon, monster, all beings. Everything was merely a small fish in the river of time. Only he stood high above, transcending all. Innate sacred body Tao embryo, one of the strongest physiques of all time, unmatched in flesh, born close to the Tao, capable of competing with other supreme physiques like the chaos body and eternal immortal body without falling behind. Feeling the changes within himself, Chen was momentarily stunned. Undoubtedly, whether it was the reincarnation eyes, the supreme bone, or the innate sacred body Tao embryo, each was an unparalleled and extraordinary innate talent. An ordinary person possessing even one of these would be considered an unparalleled genius. Especially the innate sacred body Tao embryo, which was one of the strongest battle physiques among the 3,000 Tao physiques. Unmatched in flesh, born close to the Tao. As long as the physique reaches its peak, even if one is not ascended to the emperor level, they can still compete with flawless emperor level powerhouses. At this moment, all 3 of these talents converged in Chen alone. Who? Innate sacred body, Tao embryo, reincarnation, eye, supreme bone. Some people struggle for a lifetime to finally reach Rome, while some are born in the center of Rome. Moreover, in addition to these three top-tier talents, there is also a supreme technique. As he spoke, Chen concentrated his mind in his mind. Countless scriptures flowed through his mind. It was the technique rewarded by the system for signing in the indestructible scripture. Indestructible scripture, an unparalleled body cultivation technique divided into 10 levels. With each breakthrough, the body undergoes a transformation and evolution, and once evolved to the extreme, the body becomes eternal and indestructible, able to traverse the river of time. Even if the true spirit perishes after many years, it will be reconstituted from the body. Looking at the description of the indestructible scripture provided by the system, Chen couldn't help but take a deep breath. No need to say this indestructible scripture is undoubtedly an incredibly strong body refinement technique. To cultivate to the extreme and be able to traverse the river of time, what kind of concept is that? It is known that even emperor-level powerhouses do not dare to step into the river of time lightly, lest they face the danger of falling. With the innate sacred body Tao embryo already being unmatched in flesh along with this indestructible scripture, who knows how powerful my body will become? Chen's heart was filled with joy. The originally chaotic beginning had transformed into an extraordinary one at this moment. 32 protagonists at this moment, even if there were 320 protagonists with systems, Chen felt completely unafraid. After all, in the original work, even under normal circumstances, Chen could easily crush several members of the protagonist group in battle. At this moment, with the addition of the system, if he still couldn't dominate the protagonist group, he might as well find a block of tofu to smash his head against. Calculating the time, the protagonist group should have already crossed into this world by now. Therefore, the immediate priority is to use this indestructible immortal source to cultivate diligently. The indestructible immortal source is one of the most top-tier treasures of heaven and earth in the Nine Heavens realm. Its rarity is even above that of longevity elixirs. Years ago, when darkness erupted in the Nine Heavens realm, creatures from the Forbidden Lands slaughtered the heavens, and evil gods and demons from other realms eyed it covetously. Chen's father Su Tianqing along with his mother Xian Nu fought in the Forbidden Lands. At that time, Chen had not yet been born. To prevent any mishaps, Su Tianqing used great magic to bring him into the world prematurely. But this led to Chen being born with deficiencies. To help him recover, Su Tianqing traversed the Nine Heavens realm and eventually discovered this indestructible immortal source in a perilous place, sealing Chen within it for him to be born in later generations. From this moment on, the trajectory of fate will be altered and destiny will be reversed. I am the villain, the destined great villain. Whether it be the protagonist group or any enemy, all shall perish. With this thought, Chen officially began his cultivation. The Nine Heavens realm, within the War Emperor Pavilion of the Imperial Su clan. As one of the Su clan's 10 great pavilions, the War Emperor Pavilion stood as a forbidden ground for all members of the Su clan. Ordinarily, only the current clan leader and a handful of eminent figures could set foot within. Any other who dared to trespass would be slain without mercy. At this moment, deep within the War Emperor Pavilion, a colossal immortal source stood silently. Within it, an infant drifted slowly, rising and falling. This infant was none other than Chen. With his eyes tightly shut, he began to cultivate, and the immortal source liquid within the eternal immortal source visibly diminished at a noticeable rate. Gradually, crack, a faint crisp sound echoed as the immortal source liquid decreased, and a tiny fissure appeared on the surface of the eternal boom. The instant the crack emerged, the entire War Emperor Pavilion trembled faintly. The next moment, hundreds of elderly figures materialized silently beside the eternal immortal source. Each of these elders bore deeply aged faces with hair as white as snow, and some were so gaunt they appeared as mere skin and bones. Their attire was utterly unlike that of the present era. Upon closer inspection, it seemed to be the garb of the Forbidden Era. Yet if any member of the Su clan were present at that moment, the sight of these elders would undoubtedly evoke gasps of astonishment. For these individuals were none other than the invincible legion of the Su clan's Forbidden Era. Once unmatched across heaven and earth, they had suppressed an entire epoch, serving as the personal guards of the Su clan's great emperor. They had followed in the great emperor's footsteps, quelling one forbidden land after another. They were the true foundation of the Su clan. Any one of them possessed the cultivation of a great sage, and if all 300 veterans were to emerge, it would trigger a cataclysm across the entire Nine Heavens realm. Now these veterans gazed at the cracked, eternal, immortal source before them, their eyes brimming with excitement. Some could not contain themselves and burst into loud, "Old 16, am I seeing things? The eternal, immortal source. It's cracking. Is the imperial sun finally about to emerge?" The elder addressed as Old 16, tears streaming down his weathered face, replied, "Ninth brother, your eyes do not deceive you. The essence within the eternal, immortal source is rapidly depleting. The imperial sun is about to be born. In the days before the Su clan's great emperor fell, these elders had served as his personal guards, following him into battle during the Dark Calamity. However, they were wounded in the final campaign to pacify the Forbidden Lands. The great emperor, wielding his immense power, sealed them within divine sources to protect the imperial sun, who was still in swaddling clothes. Yet that guardianship spanned countless epochs, and the imperial sun never emerged. If not for the faint life force still emanating from the eternal immortal source, they would have feared that the imperial sun had perished. Thankfully today the eternal immortal source had cracked, and the imperial sun was finally about to appear. At this thought, these veterans who had braved the Forbidden Lands and survived countless battles could not help but weep with joy. Within the eternal immortal source. Although Su Chen could not speak at this moment, he could clearly perceive everything happening outside. In the original novel, these veterans left by his father Su Tianqing had all cherished him deeply. Even in the later stages, when the original protagonist was repeatedly schemed against and besieged by the main character's group, falling into dire straits. Each time these veterans intervened, sacrificing their true spirits to rescue him. Even when the Su clan was ultimately destroyed, these veterans never retreated a single step, guarding Su Chen until the very end, only to be cruelly slain by the main character's group. It could be said that they regarded Su Chen as their everything. Whatever Su Chen asked, no matter the demand, they would never refuse. Even if he commanded them to sacrifice their lives on the spot, they would not so much as furrow their brows. At this thought, ripples stirred within Su Chen's heart. In his past life, he had been an orphan. Though he had built a decent life through hard work, he had always yearned for familial affection. Thus at this moment, warmth filled his heart. At the same time, an involuntary sense of urgency surged within him. The tragic ending of the novel will not befall me. The fate of this life shall be mine to command, whether it is the Su clan or all the veterans. In this life, I shall be their guardian. As he murmured softly, Su Chen's gaze grew more resolute. Then he resumed his cultivation, furiously absorbing the immortal source liquid to refine his physical form. In this world, the cultivation realms from low to high were blood coagulation, mortal transcendence, bitter sea, divine aperture, dragon transformation, divine ability, nirvana, great power, saint king, great sage, quasi-emperor, sovereign, and great emperor. Each realm was further divided into 9 minor stages. At this moment, after several days of cultivation, Su Chen had reached the 3rd stage of the blood coagulation. Of course, as a primordial sacred body and Tao physique, in theory, upon the fusion of his constitution, he should have received the blessings of the heavenly Tao, elevating his cultivation directly to the saint realm. However, the system had forcibly restrained this. In the system's own words, cultivation attained through the blessings of the heavenly Tao was ultimately external, lacking the solid foundation of personal cultivation. Though Su Chen grumbled aloud, he inwardly acknowledged the system's wisdom. After all, a towering edifice must be built upon a solid foundation. If his realm were unstable and his foundation weak, the further he progressed, the harder it would be to advance. Even if one were born a saint, being overtaken by others was merely a matter of time, especially given that his enemies were 32 individuals bolstered by systems. And now, within this eternal immortal source, amidst the rippling immortal liquid, lay the perfect place to forge an unparalleled foundation. With this thought, Su Chen began to frantically circulate the indestructible scripture, absorbing the essence of the surrounding immortal liquid. The blood coagulation realm, as the initial stage of cultivation, finds its true meaning in the very word coagulation. By condensing blood and qi, one inscribes Tao runes within the flesh, constantly tempering the physique and enhancing physical strength. An ordinary cultivator, upon mastering this realm to its peak, can achieve a physical might of 50 to 60,000 jin with a mere shake of one arm. Yet certain prodigies and ancient ferocious beasts can push further, refining this realm to its utmost limit, where a single gentle shake of the arm unleashes a force of 108,000 jin. And my goal is to shatter these limits and transcend. Su Chen mused silently. With his primordial sacred body and Tao physique already dominant in physical prowess, coupled with the supreme indestructible scripture and the eternal immortal source, he was fully capable of achieving this. By then his foundation would be terrifyingly profound. With sheer physical strength alone, he could suppress all enemies under heaven with a single fist. With this resolve, he began to frantically channel the indestructible scripture, inscribing its Tao runes into his flesh and blood. The surrounding immortal source churned violently, channeling terrifying energy into his body. Outside the eternal immortal source, a group of veterans stood in silent vigil, awaiting the imperial sun's emergence. In the ceaseless pursuit of cultivation, time itself seemed to lose all meaning. Su Chen knew not how long he had spent within the immortal source of eternity. Each day he diligently cycled the indestructible scripture, inscribing its profound Tao principles into his very flesh and blood. The quantity of immortal source liquid visibly diminished while the cracks upon the immortal source of eternity grew ever denser. Though Su Cheng was but an infant, the vitality of his blood and chi was terrifyingly vigorous. It felt as if a true dragon coiled within his body, exuding an aura that struck fear into the heart. Moreover, upon closer inspection, one could see that his flesh was densely covered with countless Tao runes. These runes were the very essence of the indestructible scriptures, great Tao. As they shimmered, they could autonomously absorb the surrounding spiritual essence to strengthen his physique. Even without active cultivation, his body would grow stronger on its own. Su Cheng's current cultivation realm had reached the peak of the 9th level of the blood coagulation realm. The indestructible scripture was only one step away from breaking through to its first level. To shatter the ultimate limit and transcend the ages, that shall be today. Taking a deep breath, Su Cheng began to frantically activate the indestructible scripture. Suddenly, the flesh runes within his body erupted with a blinding radiance. The surrounding immortal source liquid surged uncontrollably into him. Stimulated by the vast amount of immortal source liquid, the runes of the indestructible scripture inscribed within him began a mysterious transformation. The already profound runes became even more intricate, as if they were articulating the true essence of the Tao of heaven and earth. At that moment, Su Cheng's body emitted a series of crackling sounds. His bones, meridians, and flesh all shattered completely. His physical form turned into a pool of mud. An agonizing pain surged through him. Su Cheng gritted his teeth. He knew this was a normal phenomenon, a sign that the indestructible scripture was about to break through to the first level. Without destruction, there can be no creation. From ruin, one rebuilds glory. Pop! With a faint, crisp sound, the indestructible scripture officially broke through to the first level. At the same time, a strange, mysterious force suddenly appeared within him. His shattered body began to repair itself at a visible rate, growing even more powerful. A terrifying vitality of blood and chi swirled within him, like a blazing sun illuminating the myriad heavens. Simultaneously, his cultivation, which had been at the 9th level of the blood coagulation realm, broke through once more. Not to the transcending mortality realm, but to an unprecedented 10th level of the blood coagulation realm. A single swing of his arm now possessed the immense force of 1,000,000 Jin, breaking the ultimate limit, the 10th level of blood coagulation. A single swing of the arm, 1,000,000 Jin of force. How satisfying. Su Cheng couldn't help but grin. The 10th level of the blood coagulation realm was a special state that existed only in the deductions of ancient formidable sages. Throughout history, no living being had ever reached it. And now Su Cheng had achieved it. If this news were to spread, not only would the prodigies and saints be stunned, but even the ancient recluses and taboo figures who had secluded themselves for eons would be shocked into emergence. Yet Su Cheng did not feel overly proud. After all, he possessed the innate sacred body and Tao embryo coupled with the indestructible scripture and the immortal source of eternity. With such conditions, if he could not break the ultimate limit and shatter the ancient myth, it would truly be inexcusable. And at that very moment, as the immortal source liquid dissipated, the immortal source of eternity began to shake violently. The existing cracks rapidly. Simultaneously, the excited voices of the veteran soldiers sounded from outside. The immortal source shatters. This means the imperial sun is about to be born. After countless epochs, the imperial sun is finally emerging. My heavens, we have finally awaited this day. Hearing this, Su Cheng took a deep breath and murmured, the time has come. It is time to be born. As he spoke, the immortal source of eternity split completely, and Su Cheng was formally born. At the moment of his birth, the essence of heaven and earth surged forth in torrents, and the sun, moon, and stars rained down their silver radiance. The winds and clouds shifted and the void trembled. Phantom images of dragons and phoenixes materialized, circling above the Su family estate. The great Tao of heaven and earth gave birth to myriad spiritual phantoms which knelt and paid homage to the direction of the War Emperor Pavilion, as if welcoming the descent of a supreme being. In that moment, everyone in the Su family was shaken. They gazed at the celestial phenomena in the sky, their faces filled with disbelief. What is happening? Such terrifying omens. An ancient elder was roused, staring at the sky in horror. This is the direction of the War Emperor Pavilion. Could a sleeping ancestor have awakened? Or has some supreme figure of our Su family broken through to a new life level, stepping into the forbidden realm? Everyone buzzed with discussion. Meanwhile, the current clan leader of the Su family was also alarmed. Staring fearfully towards the War Emperor Pavilion, he led a group of supreme elders rushing there with haste. However, before they could enter the War Emperor Pavilion, the celestial phenomena in the sky changed once more. A green lotus soared into the heavens, its leaves reflecting the myriad stars. A colossal figure of an immortal king surrounded by immortal mist sat cross-legged in the 9th heaven, overlooking the mortal realm. In a boundless ocean, turbulent waves surged, and a great sun and moon rose slowly from the sea's surface. At the same time, a tattered war banner and a massive bronze cauldron shot up from the War Emperor Pavilion, trembling violently. Their terrifying imperial Tao aura spread, causing the surrounding space to shatter and collapse. This sight stunned everyone once more, including the Su clan leader and the supreme elders, who involuntarily halted their steps. A green lotus illuminating the stars, an immortal king overlooking the 9 heavens, the sun and moon rising from the sea. And our Su family's imperial banner and imperial weapon have surged out on their own. Could this be the return of our Su family's great emperor's remnant soul? Someone could not help but exclaim in shock. The current Su family clan leader Su Mingri exchanged glances with the supreme elders. They vaguely guessed what had happened. They rushed quickly into the War Emperor Pavilion. There they saw that the veteran soldier legion, which should have been in slumber, had all awake. Everyone looked with spirited excitement at an infant suspended in midair. This infant was enveloped in endless Tao principles, his body crystalline and pure like a child of the Tao itself. This is the imperial sun. The imperial sun has been born. All those celestial phenomena were caused by the imperial sun. Su Mingri and the supreme elders, as the current leaders of the Su family, were usually known for remaining unflappable even if Mount Tai crumbled before their eyes. Yet now, looking at the infant in midair, they felt their mouths go dry. For that infant was none other than the posthumous child of their Su family's great emperor. He was a true imperial son, the emperor's own child. Naturally, even more excited than them were the veteran soldiers. Haha, the imperial son's talent is unmatched. His birth alone has triggered such terrifying omens. He is destined to become an emperor. Let me see. The innate sacred body and Tao embryo double pupils supreme bone. Haha, in the past the imperial son was born prematurely, damaging his foundation. Now not only has it been restored, but it has advanced further. His talent is so formidable that even searching through ancient history, few could match him. With the imperial sun here in this era, our Su family is destined to once again dominate the rise and fall of the heavens. Perhaps after the imperial sun achieves the Tao, he can lead us to completely pacify the chaos of the Forbidden Zone and trample the foreign lands. The crowd of veteran soldiers gazed upon the myriad celestial phenomena heralding Su Chen's birth, their faces brimming with excitement. Innate saintly Tao physique, double pupils, supreme bone, imperial bloodline. A convergence of all supreme talents in one being. Even though they had witnessed the rise and fall of countless epics and beheld innumerable peerless prodigies, never had they seen one with such heaven-defying gifts. Even the phrase bearing the posture of an emperor fell short of describing the sheer audacity of his talent. With the arrival of our imperial son, the Su clan shall surely reclaim the glory of the Forbidden Era and perpetuate an imperial destiny. The dragon nest lineage of the primordial divine mountain produced a long out yin who possesses but a fraction of true dragon blood, yet dares to claim our Su clan's younger generation is barren. Such ignorance. Su Mingri and the assembly of supreme elders were also exhilarated. Though advanced in years, their eyes now rested upon Su Chen with profound reverence. For he was the posthumous son of the great emperor. None within the entire Su clan held a station more exalted. Yet as all were still immersed in elation and the celestial phenomena in the sky transformed once more. A strand of transcendent immortal light suddenly materialized, floating and sinking within the void. Gods and demons knelt in worship, myriad spirits fell, the netherworld's path returned, and the great emperor's blood was spilled. All manner of apocalyptic scenes spontaneously evolved within that immortal radiance. At the same time, rumble, thunder crashed, dark clouds gathered, and an aura of annihilation rippled across heaven and earth. Countless bolts of lightning flickered within the void. This is a heavenly tribulation. Staring at the terrifying world-ending spectacle in the sky, everyone was struck dumb with shock. Gulp. The sound of frantic swallowing echoed without cease. Legend held that whenever a being grew too heaven-defying, it would incite the jealousy of the heavens, causing the heavenly Tao to descend a thunder tribulation to annihilate it. Throughout history, nearly every individual capable of summoning a heavenly tribulation was a renowned and peerless great figure. Yet now Su Chen, merely at birth, had provoked a thunder tribulation solely because his talent was deemed too outrageous. The sky was filled with flashing thunder, apocalyptic tribulation light illuminated the myriad realms, and a destructive aura spread outwards. This terrifying scene instantly alarmed the entire 9 heavens realm. All looked towards the sky above the Su clan with expressions of dread. Heavens, what is happening within the Su clan? First, all manner of grand visions, and now an apocalyptic thunder tribulation. Could it truly be, as the rumors say, that the remnant soul of the Su clan's supreme emperor is about to return? Or has some supreme giant of the Su clan taken that critical step on the verge of becoming a forbidden entity? At this moment, the entire 9 heavens realm was shaken. All the sacred lands and immortal dynasties turned their gazes towards the Su clan. Even some forbidden entities and ancient relics who had been in perpetual seclusion were stirred, opening their eyes and fixing their gaze upon the Su clan, seeking to probe the matter thoroughly. However, as an imperial clan without equal, the Su clan was protected by emperor-level formation runes which warded off all prying eyes. For a time, top-tier powers like the immortal dynasties and sacred lands began to mobilize, dispatching numerous spies to uncover the source of the Su clan's strange phenomena. There was no choice. As one of the few imperial clans remaining in the Nine Heavens realm, every move the Su clan made drew the attention of all major powers. The significance of the two words imperial clan was immense. Transmitted through countless epochs, its ancestors had produced a supreme emperor. Bearing imperial blood and possessing profound foundations, it commanded ultimate Tao weapons and other forbidden means, making it one of the top overlords of the Nine Heavens realm. Meanwhile, within the War Emperor Pavilion of the Su clan, watching the heavenly tribulation gather relentlessly above, everyone's expressions shifted from initial shock to concern. The reason was simple. This heavenly tribulation was too terrifying, far grander even than a sagehood tribulation. The dread aura it contained made even them tremble with fear. And Su Chen, an infant, could not possibly withstand it. If a mere heavenly tribulation dares to think it can harm our imperial son. Today, even if the heavenly Tao itself arrived in person, it could not harm a single hair on our imperial son's head. The commander among the veterans gave a low shout. In the next moment, he stepped forward. His white hair flew wildly, and his once hunched frame straightened, returning him to the peak of his youth. His gaze was like lightning, his aura like a rainbow. He raised his hand, forcibly summoning the imperial banner and the war immortal bronze furnace from the sky. Using these two supreme imperial weapons as mediums, he intended to burn his own life force to forcibly shield Su Chen from the tribulation. Though the cost would be his own fall, he acted without hesitation. The surrounding veterans, seeing this, were stricken with grief and roared to the heavens in unwilling emph. At that moment, a cold snort sounded and a terrifying aura emanated. The veteran commander's burning life force was forcibly suppressed, his vitality returning, and he reverted to his elderly form. A mere heavenly tribulation dares to think it can harm my Su clan's imperial son. The next instant, a colossal black hand appeared in the sky, blotting out the sun, and descended directly to suppress the terrifying tribulation. A mere heavenly tribulation dares to think it can harm my Su clan's imperial son. The next instant, a colossal black hand appeared in the sky, blotting out the sun, and descended directly to suppress the heavenly tribulation. It was forcibly erased with a single hand. What level of power is this? Everyone felt their mouths go dry. The next moment, the figure of an old man materialized silently within the War Emperor Pavilion. The elder had graying hair and ordinary appearance, wore coarse linen clothes, and exuded not a single fluctuation of power. This is the 10th ancestor Su Tianming. Some veterans recognized the elder and cried out in surprise. During the forbidden era of the Su clan's emperor, Su Tianqing had suppressed the heavens, and the entire Nine Heavens realm had submitted to the Su clan's iron. During the forbidden era of the Su clan's emperor, Su Tianqing had suppressed the heavens, and the entire Nine Heavens realm had submitted to the Su clan's iron. Each of the 10 ancestral dragons was exceptionally brilliant and unmatched among their peers. Some even said that had Su Tianqing not achieved enlightenment first, every one of the Su clan's 10 ancestral dragons possessed the potential to attain the Tao. In the final battle that closed the forbidden era, the Su clan's 10 ancestral dragons shone with extraordinary brilliance. Deploying together, they directly obliterated a forbidden land, slaying every forbidden entity within it. However, after that, the Su clan's 10 ancestral dragons fell into obscurity. The world speculated that they had all perished in that final conflict of the forbidden. Yet now the 10th dragon among the 10 ancestral dragons appeared before them. Were this news to spread, it would likely unsettle the entire Nine Heavens realm, including the forbidden entities within the life-restricted zones. Salutations to the 10th Patriarch. A group of veteran warriors and senior elders of the Su clan, including Su Mingri, knelt in unison, their eyes. Su Tianming. His name alone was legendary among all present, a forbidden figure, an exalted being beyond mortal reckoning. Yet Su Tianming paid them no heed. Instead, he strode calmly forward, gently lifted Su Chen, who hovered midair, and cradled him in his arms. Tisk tisk, truly the son of my elder kinsman. Innate sacred body, Tao embryo, twin pupils, supreme bone. At birth, he shattered the peak of the blood condensation realm. Even in the Forbidden Age, a golden epic teeming with prodigies, such talent would reign supreme across heaven and earth. Su Tianming gazed tenderly upon the infant Su Chen, his expression brimming with paternal warmth. Then he turned to the kneeling veterans and Su Mingri and declared, "From this day forth I shall escort the imperial heir to the ancestral land for seclusion, several years of cultivation. All knowledge concerning the imperial heir Today's events included, must remain sealed. Violation shall be met with death. His voice was soft yet carried an overwhelming aura that sent tremors through every soul present. None dared lift their heads. When they finally dared raise their eyes again, Su Tianming, still holding the infant Su Chun, had vanished without trace. Only then did they exhale in quiet collective relief. The veterans fell silent once more, returning to slumber as they awaited Su Chen's emergence. Meanwhile, Su Mingri and the other senior elders immediately began commissioning the construction of a palace, the future exclusive residence of the imperial heir. Time slipped like sand through fingers. 8 years passed in the blink of an eye. Throughout this span, immortal imperial dynasties and supreme sacred sects relentlessly probed the Su clan's celestial anomalies. Even beings from forbidden realms covertly gathered intelligence. Yet all inquiries yielded nothing. Even within the Su clan itself, only a handful knew the true origin of the phenomenon. Everyone else remained utterly ignorant. Rumors soon proliferated, each version more fantastical than the last. Some claimed the anomalies stemmed from the undying spirit of the Su clan's celestial emperor returning home to stir the resonance of his divine weapon. Others surmised it heralded the imminent birth of an offspring belonging to some exalted Su clan patriarch. Still others whispered it signaled the transcendence of a forbidden entity, breaking the cycle of life and death, ascending to the rank of a forbidden existence. Countless theories circulated, but the truth remained shrouded in silence. Before long, however, this mystery faded into obscurity, overshadowed by a far greater event: the descent of the trial divine steel and the imminent opening of the 3,000 immortal realms. The 3,000 immortal realms were also known as the 10th realm. Legend held that the 9 heavens realm had never been limited to 9 realms, but originally comprised 10. Yet at some unknown juncture, the 10th realm shattered, fracturing into the 3,000 immortal realms, sealed thereafter by unfathomable forces inaccessible to all living beings until its cyclical reawakening. At that time, all young prodigies below the nirvana refinement realm who inscribed their names successfully upon the trial divine steel would gain entry to compete upon the immortal ancient arena, vying for supremacy. Victory bestowed extraordinary rewards: celestial emperor scriptures, genuine immortal inscriptions, relics gifted by immortals, each prize more magnificent than the last. Moreover, the 3,000 immortal realms overflowed with rare opportunities. Divine herbs and sacred medicines abounded. Even immortal-grade elixirs, dragon eggs, and phoenix embryos could be found. Young geniuses and monstrous talents rushed to inscribe their names upon the trial divine steel. Ancient freaks, long sealed away, emerged from hibernation, traversing the world to challenge masters and temper their own strength. Amidst this surge, certain prodigies blazed with unparalleled radiance, astonishing all who beheld them. Wang Tiank, the disciple heir of the Tai Chu; Mu Qingqing, the disciple heiress of the Yinyang sacred sect; Manhuang Zi scion of the eastern wastelands Manhuang tribe; Long Outyan, heir of the ancient divine mountain. One after another, peerless geniuses emerged before the world, stars rising in unison, vying for dominion over all heavens. All were awestruck by this unprecedented flourishing, an age wherein titans who once appeared only once per epoch now walked side by side, locked in fierce. Some proclaimed it the zenith of the Tao's prosperity, the accumulation of 10,000 eons' fortune converging upon this single lifetime, heralding a golden age radiant with stellar brilliance. In this era, legendary prodigies whose names echoed through history would reappear, competing fiercely for the sole celestial emperor throne. Others believed this generation would shatter the ancient curse binding countless eons, transcending emperorhood to attain immortality, ascending at last to the immortal realms. Still others speculated this brilliance foretold apocalyptic splendor, the convergence of countless doomed geniuses destined to make this the cruelest age of all. Darkness would rise anew, forbidden zones would awaken, and the underworld would become the final refuge for all living beings. No one could foresee the future's ultimate outcome. Yet one truth stood immutable: this era would witness the ascent of a singular sovereign standing atop 10,000 Tao paths, striding across the river of time itself, resplendent, eternal. The imperial clan, the Su clan. Dragons rose from earth, phoenixes soared from cliffs, Chelants rested amid mountains, a vision of auspicious grandeur. As the foremost imperial clan of this age, the Su clan basked in peerless glory, its ancestral lands spanning 10,000 miles of majestic terrain. At this moment, within the Su clan's martial training grounds, the younger generation trained with relentless fervor. Nearby stood a colossal palace. That palace shimmered with unearthly magnificence, exuding an aura as primordial and immense as a beast from the chaos epic. Any who stood before it felt infinitesimal, humbled by sheer cosmic weight. Every youth in the training grounds gazed upon that palace with burning intensity, for it bore the name Imperial Air Palace, a residence reserved solely for the imperial heir. Yet to this day, no one had ever entered it. Ever since its completion, whispers had spread quietly throughout the Su clan. It was said the palace had been built expressly for the future imperial heir, but who that heir might be remained unknown, meaning any among the younger generation could yet claim it as their own. The most outstanding youths of the Su clan eyed that palace with covetous ambition, even engaging in clandestine duels to assert dominance. After all, the title imperial heir carried weight beyond measure. Meanwhile, at an ancient teleportation formation deep within the Su clan's territory, Su Mingri, the senior elders, and 300 veteran warriors stood in solemn anticipation, their gazes fixed upon the formation. Suddenly, faint spatial energy rippled outward. The formation ignited, and a gate of dimensional light manifested midair. In the next breath, a youth stepped. He appeared no older than 8 or 9, yet stood tall and poised, his hair luminous, his eyes gleaming with such profundity that entire cosmic cycles of creation and annihilation seemed to flicker within their depths. An ethereal aura wreathed his form, yet beneath it pulsed an authority incongruous with his youth, leaving onlookers momentarily dazed. Before them stood not merely a boy, but a sovereign immortal king surveying all heavens from his celestial throne. This youth was none other than Su Chen. "Greetings, Your Highness, the imperial son." 8 years had passed in the blink of an eye. Su Chen had grown from a swaddled infant into a graceful young man. He was handsome and transcendent, exuding a unique aura of celestial Tao. Seeing this, Su Mingri immediately led the group of supreme elders forward and knelt on the ground. "Rise." Su Chen's voice was clear and cold as he gave a slight nod, his demeanor composed and calm. He was the imperial son of the Su clan, and moreover the posthumous son of the great emperor. Whether by seniority or status, he was fully deserving of this kneeling tribute. "Thank you, Your Highness." Everyone rose in unison. The 300 veterans remained silent, merely guarding by Su Chen's side in quiet dedication. This was both their duty and the very meaning of their existence. Each of them possessed at least the cultivation of a great sage, with the strongest even reaching the half-step quasi-emperor realm. In any other place, they would be founders of their own sects and lineages. Yet here they willingly stood guard around Su Chen as his personal guards. "Your Highness, your exclusive imperial palace is ready." At that moment, Su Mingri stepped forward, summoning a chariot with a respectful expression. Though he was the current helmsman of the Su clan, he was extraordinarily deferential before Su Chen. Even the chariot he had prepared for Su Chen was crafted to the highest specifications of the Su clan. Before the chariot stood 9 colossal flood dragons, their heads held high harnessed to pull the vehicle. Each of these 9 flood dragons was supremely majestic, their scales pitch black as they radiated a terrifying draconic might. All 9 flood dragons possessed the cultivation of the great energy realm. In the outside world, a cultivator of the great energy realm would be at least the leader of a sect. Yet here in the Su clan, they were reduced to pulling a chariot. With a thunderous dragon's roar, the 9 flood dragons bowed their heads in reverence the moment they laid eyes on Su Chen. Su Chen stepped slowly onto the... Under Su Mingri's guidance, the chariot set off toward the imperial son's palace. The 300 sage veterans silently cleared the path ahead. Behind them, the chariot soared, scattering divine radiance across the sky. 9 great energy flood dragons pulling the chariot. 300 sage veterans clearing the way. This fearsome procession, moving through the Su clan's ancestral grounds, instantly stirred a massive commotion. Everyone paused in their tasks, stopping to gaze in awe. Who was this person traveling with such grandeur, even deploying 9 great energy flood dragons to pull the chariot? Everyone paused in their tasks, stopping to gaze in awe. Who was this person traveling with such grandeur, even deploying 9 great energy flood dragons to... This spectacle is more fearsome than even the holy lords of sacred lands, or the emperors of immortal dynasties. The crowd exclaimed in terror, speculating wildly about the identity of the chariot's occupant. Yet what followed caused even greater astonishment among the onlookers. The chariot glided through the void, with countless phantom sacred beasts spontaneously manifesting around it as a magnificent golden path unfurled, heading straight for the imperial son's palace. The chariot glided through the void, with countless phantom sacred beasts spontaneously manifesting around it as a magnificent golden path unfurled, heading for the one who descended from the chariot was none other than Su Mingri, the current helmsman of the Su clan. Who was this person to be personally received by the clan leader? What background does this person in the chariot have? The chariot has stopped at the imperial son's palace. Could it be? Whispers spread as all eyes fixed intently on the chariot, eager to uncover the mystery. The next moment, under everyone's gaze, Su Chen slowly stepped out of the chariot. Though still young, he possessed an unparalleled majesty, with a faint luminous glow surrounding him that elevated his otherworldly elegance, making him appear like a young heavenly emperor, transcendent and ethereal. Most miraculous of all were his pupils. As his gaze flickered, they reflected the stars of the cosmos and the birth and death of universes. What a beautiful boy. I just want to pinch his cheek." Some young women murmured, captivated by Su Chen's striking features. So small, so adorable. I want to ride him. Another girl with a voluptuous figure let out a foolish grin. It must be said the maidens of the Su clan were exceptional. In contrast to these girls, many young men stared at Su Chen with sharp, piercing eyes. Such terrifying blood energy. Even from afar, the faint aura he leaks makes my heart tremble, as if I'm facing a true divine dragon. A young man with keen spiritual senses exclaimed in shock after sensing Su Chen's presence. The others also shifted uneasily. They stared at Su Chen without pause. At such a young age, his aura was already this fearsome. Coupled with the grand procession and Su Mingris' attitude, Su Chen's identity now seemed profoundly mysterious to everyone. Yet the next moment something even more shocking occurred. Su Chen, having just stepped off the chariot, wore a calm expression as he walked straight into the Imperial Sun's palace. Witnessing this, many of the younger generation of the Su clan changed color. The Imperial Sun's palace was the exclusive residence of the Su clan's Imperial Sun, carrying immense symbolic weight. And now this youth was striding in without a word to anyone. Most notably, the clan leader and supreme elders stood by without a word, as if it were only natural. Seeing this, the crowd's eyes flickered as they began to speculate about Su Chen's identity. Some said he was the descendant of a taboo elder within the Su clan, possessing peerless talent and the potential to become an emperor. Others claimed he was an ancient patriarch who, after breaking a taboo, had rejuvenated and lived a second life. More absurdly, some even whispered that he was the illegitimate son of clan leader Su Mingri and a female holy lord of some supreme sacred land, who had wandered outside for years before returning to the Su clan. In short, countless versions of rumors circulated. Yet one thing was indisputable, that youth had taken residence in the Imperial Sun's palace. For a time, the attention of the entire younger generation of the Su clan was fixed on Su Chen. As for Su Chen, he paid it no mind at all. Now, having entered the Imperial Sun's palace, he dismissed everyone and retreated alone into a secret chamber. System, open my personal panel. At his command, a status panel visible only to him materialized before his eyes. Name Su Chen. Age 8. Identity, posthumous son of Su Tianqing, the great emperor of the Su clan. Cultivation, 10th layer of the mortal transcendence realm. Art, indestructible scripture, 1st layer. Divine ability, none. Treasure, none. Destiny, villain points, 10000. Gazing at his personal attribute panel before him, Su Chen nodded with satisfaction. In 8 years, his cultivation realm had broken through from the original 10th level of the blood coagulation stage to the transcending mortality stage. Moreover, he had once again shattered the ancient extreme limit, reaching an unprecedented 10th level of the transcending mortality stage. Now his blood energy was astonishingly vigorous, and his physical body was incredibly formidable. He could effortlessly crush top-tier Dao weapons with his bare. Of course, this was still the result of his strenuous suppression. Throughout these 8 years, he had never actively cultivated, nor had the 9 ancestors taught him cultivation. Instead, they spent each day expounding the Tao and using various heavenly materials and earthly treasures to temper his body and lay an unparalleled foundation. The true essence of the transcending mortality stage lies in refining the physical body, suppressing it, and shedding all mortal impurities. With the personal teachings of the 9 ancestors and the refinement of various treasures, Su Chen naturally shattered the extreme limit of this stage. Now his body and soul were both in a state of absolute purity, making him ethereal and transcendent. Next, I can attempt to break through to the bitter sea stage. But before that, let's see what's in the system shop. The system shop required accumulating 100,000 destiny villain points to unlock. Over 8 years, the system had not issued any tasks, nor had new check-in locations appeared. Thus, he could only arduously gain destiny villain points by continuously breaking through realms. Fortunately, by shattering the extreme limit and reaching the 10th level of the transcending mortality stage, he finally accumulated enough points to unlock the system shop. As he willed it, the system shop interface opened. Ding, your destiny villain points have reached 100,000. The system shop is now officially open. The system shop contains a vast array of items. The host can purchase them by consuming destiny villain points. 2 consecutive prompts echoed in his mind. With the system shop now open, Su Chen gave it a brief browse and found it divided into 3 sections. Weapons, divine abilities, cultivation methods, and monthly gift packs. He focused on the weapons interface. Long rainbow sword, 300 destiny villain points. Dragon slaying blade, 400 destiny villain points. Heaven depending sword, 400 destiny villain points. Peerless sword case, 500 destiny villain. Profound heavy ruler, 1000 destiny villain points. Heavenly scale ancient halberd, 1500 destiny villain points. Great Sumeru divine pillar, 3000 destiny villain points. Void War Halberd, 500 destiny villain points. 5 Elements War Armor, 800 destiny villain points. 6 Paths of Reincarnation Bracelet, 120 destiny villain points. Immortal Heavenly Blade, 600 million Destiny Villain points. Great Luo Sword Embryo, 800 million Destiny Villain points. Immortal Slaying Sword Formation, 1 billion Destiny Villain points. Pengu Axe, 1.5 billion Destiny Villain points. Good heavens. After a glance at the weapon's interface, Su Chen felt his heart pounding wildly. From mundane weapons to supreme imperial weapons, and even legendary immortal artifacts, the weapon shop had them all. Unfortunately, Su Chen was currently short on funds and couldn't afford the good ones. As for ordinary weapons, there was no need to buy them. He was the imperial son of the Su clan. If he so wished, he could freely choose any weapon from the clan's treasure vault, including holy weapons. Even in critical moments, he could mobilize the 2 supreme imperial weapons of the Su clan. Therefore, there was no need to purchase ordinary weapons from the system shop. As for the ones he truly desired, he couldn't afford a single one. Shaking his head, Su Chen decided not to dwell on it, closed the weapon's interface, and shifted his gaze to the divine abilities and cultivation methods section. Like the weapons, it was all-encompassing, containing a wide variety of cultivation methods and divine abilities. Even such treasures as the 9 secrets, the 10 ferocious beasts, divine arts, emperor scriptures, and immortal gestures were present. However, the prices were exorbitantly high. Su Chen could only look on, longingly unable to afford them. Truly tempting. Su Chen sighed and turned his gaze to the final section, the monthly gift packs. These were similar to blind boxes in his previous life, costing 100,000 Destiny Villain points each, with 10 refreshed in the system shop every month. Any item in the system shop could potentially be obtained from them. With enough luck, one could even acquire supreme imperial weapons, immortal artifacts, immortal gestures, emperor scriptures, and other heaven-defying treasures. Of course, if luck was poor, those 100,000 Destiny Villain points would be wasted. Let's try one monthly gift pack first. Later, when I encounter a protagonist, I'll directly purchase those top-tier items. There were 3 ways to obtain Destiny Villain points. First, breakthrough in cultivation realm. Second, check-ins and system tasks. Third, killing the protagonist or those around them would drop Destiny treasure chests. Opening them guaranteed a substantial amount of Destiny Villain points. Ding, are you sure you want to consume 100,000 Destiny Villain points to purchase 1 monthly treasure chest? PS current stock 10. Yes or no? A system prompt appeared before him. Su Chen decisively chose yes. The next moment, a black treasure chest materialized in his. Only he could see and open this chest. Su Chen applied a little force, and with a crisp click, the lid sprang open. Ding, you have opened the monthly treasure chest. Congratulations. You obtained item. Golden Vine X1 Spiritual Herb. Congratulations. You obtained item. Purple Cloud Sword X1 Weapon. Congratulations. You obtained item. Top Grade Spirit Stones X100 Miscellaneous. Congratulations. Congratulations. You obtained item. Myriad Transformations Immortal Art Divine Ability. Congratulations. You obtained item. 1 Thought Flower Blooms Overlooking the World Divine Ability. A flash of golden light passed, and the system's cold mechanical voice echoed incessantly in his ears. Su Chen's heart surged with excitement, his breathing becoming rapid. Many items were drawn from the monthly treasure chest. However, for Su Chen, most of the early items were useless junk. Only the last 2 truly stirred his emotions. Myriad Transformations Immortal Art, a supreme divine ability, created by a peerlessly talented female emperor aimed at the Taoist 9 secrets. It is ever-changing, without fixed form, and can be executed at will. One technique, Unleashed, nullifies myriad techniques, possessing the terrifying power to transform the miraculous into the mundane, countering all secret arts under heaven. 1 Thought Flower Blooms Overlooking the World, a peerless divine ability, created by the same talented female emperor, possessing overwhelming killing power. It can strike the heavens above and suppress the 9 netherworlds below. Whether it was the 10,000 transformations immortal art, or the 1 Thought Blossom Sovereign, over all, both were supreme divine abilities, inheritances at the imperial level, possessing boundless might. One possessed the power to turn the miraculous into the mundane, suppressing all techniques. Before the 10,000 transformations immortal art, even the most formidable divine abilities would become mediocre and ordinary. Meanwhile, 1 Thought Blossom Sovereign overall was a peerless killing art. Once unleashed, countless flowers of the great Tao bloomed across the sky, striking the heavens above and suppressing the netherworld below, truly terrifying. This time, I've hit the jackpot. A wildly exaggerated grin curled at the corner of Su Chen's lips. From a monthly chest costing a mere 100,000 Destiny Villain points, he had drawn a supreme divine ability worth over 100 million. The odds were hardly higher than winning 5 million in a lottery. It could only be said that Su Chen's luck was outrageously good. With that thought, he unhesitatingly chose to accept the reward. The next moment, a vast array of items appeared within the system space. At the same time, 2 segments of runic incantations began to flow slowly through Su Chen's mind. These two runic incantations carried an ethereal, otherworldly aura, incredibly complex. Were an ordinary person to receive them, they might never fathom their mysteries in a lifetime. But Chen, as a saintly physique and Tao embryo combined with the 9 patriarchs' ceaseless lectures over the past 8 years, had honed his comprehension and understanding of the great Tao to an utterly terrifying degree. In almost an instant he had already gained a preliminary grasp of both supreme divine abilities. One thought blossom, sovereign, overall, he murmured softly, attempting to activate the incantation. The next moment a strange mighty force burst forth. 3,000 pristine flowers of the great Tao slowly bloomed within the secret chamber, appearing ethereal and sacred like a celestial realm. Do not underestimate these flowers of the great Tao. Though they appeared pure and holy on the surface, they contained a terrifying power of slaughter capable of vanquishing all living beings in the world. Amidst these 3,000 flowers of the great Tao, Chen stood with closed eyes suspended in the air. His already transcendent aura became even more ethereal, like an exiled immortal untouched by worldly affairs. Kill. Spitting out a single word, Chen snapped his eyes open and hurled a punch at the wall of the secret chamber. Whoosh, whoosh. In an instant, the 3,000 flowers of the great Tao followed the trajectory of his fist, surging together toward the wall. Boom. A violent explosion erupted like the clash of bronze gongs, deafening and ear-splitting. The entire secret chamber trembled faintly. An invisible barrier flickered on the chamber wall, blocking Chen's strike. A tiny crack appeared on the barrier. The protective array embedded within the chamber had been triggered. If anyone had witnessed this scene, they would have been utterly astounded. For this array was no ordinary one. It had been laid by a grandmaster of formations at the great power level. Not even cultivators at the transcendent mortal realm, let alone those at the divine ability realm, could easily shake it. Yet under Chen's single blow a crack had appeared. It could only be said that the killing power of one thought blossom, sovereign overall, was truly unmatched in the world, possessing immense might. Afterwards, Chen wasted no time and tested the 10,000 transformations immortal art. Unlike the splendor of one thought blossom, sovereign, the 10,000 transformations immortal art appeared utterly ordinary, like the most mundane secret technique in the world, seeming completely unremarkable. Yet upon careful examination one could detect within its shimmering radiance a strange power of decay. This power of decay did not target physical objects, but was specifically aimed at runic patterns. Any divine ability rune that touched it would be decomposed and corroded of its might, rendered ordinary. These two divine abilities are more than enough for me now. Muttering softly, a smile unconsciously spread across Chen's lips. Ding. Check-in location announced. Ancient Emperor City, Trial Steel. Please proceed to the check-in location within 10 days. Exceeding this time, this check-in will be automatically voided. Just then the system's voice rang out once more. A new check-in location finally. Chen's spirits lifted. Since the last check-in, the system's check-in function had seemed paralyzed for the past 8 years, never refreshing. Now it was finally announced again. Thinking of this, Chen felt a surge of excitement. After all, the reward from his last check-in could only be described as he was immensely looking forward to the reward from this check-in. Ancient Emperor City, he murmured softly, a grin spreading across his face. For he suddenly recalled that according to the original novel's records, Ancient Emperor City had a very mysterious origin. Moreover, one of the 32 cheater protagonists would also appear there around this time. 8 years have passed. I wonder how far these protagonists have grown. Muttering softly, Chen did not rush to set off, but instead closed his eyes and began to cultivate. His cultivation had already broken through the pinnacle of the transcendent mortal realm. Remaining at this stage any longer was meaningless. He needed to prepare to break through to the next realm, the Bitter Sea realm. The true essence of this realm lay in transforming one's own source into a sea. The accumulations from the previous 2 realms would manifest here. The more solid one's foundation, the vaster the Bitter Sea formed at this stage would be. Some prodigies and monstrous talents with sufficiently deep foundations would even give rise to various extraordinary phenomena when evolving their Bitter Sea. These phenomena represented the embodiment of their techniques, and Tao signifying their latent potential. At the same time, the Bitter Sea realm was also where the largest gap in combat power existed among cultivators. The powerful could effortlessly suppress the weak even if their cultivation levels differed by several minor stages. Whether someone was a true prodigy or monstrous talent could be judged by their performance at the Bitter Sea realm. At that moment, Chen sat cross-legged with his eyes closed, beginning his breakthrough. For others, breaking through realms was extremely difficult, especially major realm breakthroughs, which might require years of accumulation for ordinary people. Even geniuses needed a certain amount of time to settle. But Chen needed none of that. With his talent and accumulation, had he not actively suppressed his cultivation, his realm would have already reached an utterly terrifying level. A silent tremor resonated. All the source power converged towards Chen's abdomen, where the Bitter Sea was located. As the source gathered, a golden speck suddenly appeared, and its area began to expand continuously. When ordinary people broke through to the Bitter Sea realm, their initial Bitter Sea was only about the size of a palm. It would later expand as their realm advanced. But at this moment, Su Chen's Bitter Sea, just beginning, was already as large as a small puddle and was rapidly expanding at a visible rate. In an instant, it had grown to the size of a small pond. Countless golden liquid flowed within it. All of it was Su Chen's source power, the wellspring of his strength. At this moment, with the continuous inflow of the origin force, the Bitter Sea, which had already expanded to the size of a small pond, swelled rapidly once more. Having successively broken through the ultimate limits of the blood coagulation and mortal transcendence realms, combined with the relentless sermons and physical tempering from the 9 ancestors over these 8 years, Su Chen's foundation was profoundly deep. Throughout all of ancient history, few could rival him. The golden sea in his abdomen expanded with increasing speed, eventually transforming into an endless golden ocean. Its surface churned with turbulent waves, their crashing sounds echoing like thunder. Yet this was not the end. Above the golden Bitter Sea, visions began to emerge spontaneously. A cyan lotus soared into the sky, its leaves reflecting the myriad stars of the heavens. An immortal king sat cross-legged atop the 9 heavens, gazing down upon the cosmos. A great sun and moon rose simultaneously from the Bitter Sea. The cyan lotus illuminated the stars, the immortal king presided over the 9 heavens, and the sun and moon ascended from the sea. These visions, which had appeared at Su Chen's birth, now re-emerged within his Bitter Sea, rendering it sacred and transcendent. Moreover, this was not the end. After these visions took form, a burst of golden light erupted once more from his golden Bitter Sea. Even more terrifying visions unfolded. The phantom shadows of 3,000 demons ceaselessly performed sacrifices before a small golden figure on the golden Bitter Sea. 3,000 Buddhas sat cross-legged around the golden figure, chanting sutras. 3,000 deities knelt before the golden immortal, prostrating. The sounds of chanting echoed across the golden Bitter Sea, mysterious and ancient, as if traversing the river of time. Upon closer observation, the small golden figure, surrounded by 3,000 demons, 3,000 Buddhas, and 3,000 deities, bore an 8-fold resemblance to Su Chen, like a young heavenly emperor. This was the manifestation of his Tao fruit from breaking the limits of the previous 2 realms. At the same time, above the prince's palace, as Su Chen successfully broke through to the Bitter Sea realm, the heavens and earth instantly changed. A golden pillar of light shot up from Su Chen's seclusion chamber, illuminating the entire sky in a golden hue. Simultaneously, the scene within Su Chen's Bitter Sea was projected onto the sky. The golden Bitter Sea gleamed brilliantly with countless visions suspended above it, as 3,000 demons, 3,000 Buddhas, and 3,000 deities prostrated below. This terrifying sight immediately drew everyone's attention. The Bitter Sea mirrors the cosmos, countless visions rise and fall. Who is breaking through? Such a dreadful sight with a foundation so heavy it startles. An ancient figure was roused from slumber, unable to suppress their surprise upon seeing the visions in the sky. Who is this? Their Bitter Sea is more terrifying than even the most exceptional prodigies. Does this signify the potential to become an emperor? Such visions are earth-shattering. The commotion of this breakthrough is too extraordinary. When did our Su clan produce such a prodigy? Another unparalleled genius has emerged. The source of these visions is the prince's palace. It is the youth brought back by the clan leader. Could the rumors be true? Is the youth brought back by the clan leader a taboo great figure living a second life? Unimaginable. The Bitter Sea is so vast, how profound must the accumulation be? It surpasses even the young emperors of the same era. The members of the Su clan gazed at the sky, exclaiming in awe. Disbelief was etched on every face. The golden Bitter Sea in the sky was simply too immense, and the visions it spawned were utterly terrifying. Even the breakthroughs of the current most powerful 10 sequence holy sons of the Su clan paled in comparison to this. As the crowd marveled, clan leader Su Mingri and the supreme elders were also alerted. Staring at the scene in the sky, they were momentarily stunned. The prince's breakthrough causes such an uproar. Even when our Su clan's great emperor broke through the Bitter Sea realm, the visions were not this terrifying, were they? How formidable is the prince's talent? At birth he triggered a heavenly tribulation, and now his Bitter Sea mirrors the cosmos. This is no longer the bearing of a great emperor, but that of an immortal. They exchanged glances, swallowing hard. As the clan leader of the imperial Su clan, Su Mingri, and the supreme elders had witnessed countless unparalleled geniuses. Yet none could compare to Su Chen. For a moment their hearts surged with excitement. With the prince present, the Su clan might vie for the destiny of an emperor elsewhere in a certain pavilion within the Su clan's territory. Interesting. The Bitter Sea mirrors the cosmos, countless visions rise and fall. To reside in the prince's pavilion, he indeed has some skill. A young man murmured softly as he gazed at the visions in the sky. Dressed in a white robe with a tall, straight posture and a blood-colored longsword strapped to his back, he exuded an aura like a spring breeze. Yet upon closer inspection beneath that spring-like demeanor lay a soaring sharpness, like a gleaming divine sword, powerful and keen. This young man was none other than Su Tianjian, one of the current 10 sequence holy sons of the Su clan. Possessing the innate 5-element sword physique, he ranked among the top 50 of the 3,000 physiques. Legend had it that at his birth visions descended from the heavens with thousands of sword energies crossing within 100 li, and all divine swords within the Su clan flew towards him of their own accord. Young master, this person's bitter sea visions are so terrifying, could he? A seductive young woman behind Su Tianjian spoke with some concern. But before she could finish, Su Tianjian interrupted confidently, "No need to worry. If it's only this, he won't hold the prince's pavilion for long." He paused, then added regretfully, "It's a pity I've already broken through to the divine aperture realm. Otherwise I could test him and see if he can withstand my sword." With that, his gaze fixed on the prince's palace, his aura erupted. A tangible sword energy shot into the sky, transforming into a colossal divine sword suspended in the firmament. At the same time, in other pavilions within the Su clan's territory, a massive true phoenix soared into the air, roaring skyward with divine flames spreading from its wings to scorch the cosmos. A war immortal emerged from the void, swinging a bronze halberd, shaking the void with battle intent, soaring to the heavens. These visions were all manifestations of the auras of the other Su clan sequence holy sons. Their cultivation had already surpassed the bitter sea realm. As prodigies, they possessed their own pride. Even though Su Chen had taken residence in the prince's palace, they disdained to attack him with a higher cultivation level. Instead, they awaited the chance to fight him inside the imperial sun palace. Su Chen gazed at the several sacred sons of the Su family in the sky, only letting out a light chuckle. Do they wish to wait for a battle at the same realm? I must say these people have truly great courage. Although he is currently merely at the beginning of the bitter sea realm, his combat power has already reached an astonishing, with an innate sacred body, dual pupils, supreme bone, imperial blood. He possesses various top-tier talents in addition to having broken through the extremes twice, along with powerful arts and divine abilities. It can be said that although Su Chen's cultivation level is currently just at the beginning of the bitter sea realm, he is not afraid in the slightest, even when facing those prodigies of the Qi awakening realm. He can easily suppress his opponents. Forget it. The most important thing now is to check in. As for you all, I will convince you when I have time. Su Chen was brimming with confidence, harboring an indomitable will, firmly believing he could be invincible in the world and suppress all enemies. He did not take the top 10 sacred sons seriously at all. As he spoke, he closed his eyes again to consolidate his realm. He has already stepped into the bitter sea realm. The cultivation of this realm would be quite simple. He simply needs to continuously absorb spiritual energy, convert it into primordial power, and inject it into the bitter sea. A silent night. The next morning, in the warmth of the sunlight, Su Chen slowly opened his eyes. Dressed in white, he walked straight out of the imperial sun palace and boarded the 9-dragon carriage. 300 veteran soldiers quickly followed, paving the way towards the ancient emperor city. The 9-dragon carriage soared across the sky, a golden road woven from grand runes stretching across the horizon, with countless marvelous phenomena evolving around the carriage. As the 9-dragon carriage made its way out of the Su family estate, the formidable display immediately startled everyone. Hiss! As the 9-dragon carriage made its way out of the Su family estate, the formidable display immediately startled everyone. Hiss! Is that the esteemed figure from the Su family? The 9 dragons pulling the carriage is quite a spectacle. Each of these 9 serpents possesses powerful cultivation, and their bloodlines are extraordinary. In any other place, they would be leaders, yet they are used to pull a carriage. The veteran soldiers clearing the way ahead are equally terrifying. Just the aura they casually emanate sends chills down my spine. Could it be that the head of the Su family is going out? The crowd murmured, stopping to look up, with some attempting to use spells to peer into the carriage. However, a veteran merely turned to glance at one person, and an invisible wave swept through, causing that individual to explode on the spot, reduced to a puddle of flesh and blood. Seeing this, the surrounding people immediately scattered in terror. Just a glance, and he killed a powerful being at the divine ability realm. What level of cultivation does that veteran possess? Fear was etched on everyone's faces as they dared not spy on the situation inside the 9-dragon carriage any longer. At this moment, Su Chen lounged lazily in the carriage, his expression indifferent, showing no signs of concern for what had just transpired. After all, he was not the protagonist, but rather the villain, the fated great villain. To casually spy on him, then be prepared for death. Ignoring the discussions below, Su Chen began to close his eyes in contemplation, gently tapping his forehead with his fingers. According to the original novel, at this moment a character among the 32 protagonists would also appear within the ancient emperor city. Chen looked forward to what kind of scene would unfold when he encountered this protagonist. Meanwhile, outside the ancient emperor city, a young man carrying an exaggerated divine measuring instrument approached the city gate. This young man wore a black tight outfit, his physique robust, and his features rugged, giving off the impression of a hard-boiled warrior. Moreover, within his aura there was a burning sensation like an eternal divine fire that could incinerate everything in the world. This young man was none other than one of the protagonists, Lin Yan. Looking up at the magnificent city gate of the ancient emperor city, Lin Yan couldn't help but reveal a cold smile. Lin Yan, 8 years ago you climbed onto the high branch of the imperial clan Su family, confidently coming to my Yin clan to annul our engagement. Even deliberately humiliating me, trampling my dignity underfoot. 30 years east of the river, 30 years west of the river, do not bully the poor youth. Today I will fulfill the vow made back, then returning the humiliation you inflicted on me 100-fold. As I speak, Lin Yan strides into the ancient emperor city, carrying the heavy measuring instrument on his back. He was originally a programmer from Blue Star, having graduated years ago. After working for many years, he found himself frustrated, unable to afford a house, a car, or even marriage. Fortunately, fate smiled upon him. After a class reunion, a miraculous event occurred, and when he woke up again, he had crossed into this fantastical world. Moreover, he had become the young patriarch of the Yin clan, one of the ancient 8 clans. Although he had no talent and was mocked as a waste by others. However, Lin Yan did not care. After all, with his status in the Yin clan, even if his talent was poor, being a carefree young lord was more than sufficient. Compared to his life before crossing over, his current life was like heaven. Moreover, he had a childhood sweetheart fiancée who looked like a fairy. However, just as he was enjoying life, an incident occurred that shattered his current situation. His childhood sweetheart fiancée at some point had connected with the talented Su Yanghua from the imperial clan Su family, publicly annulling their engagement. From then on, Lin Yan became the laughingstock of the entire Yin clan. Under the vast green grass facing the ridicule of the crowd, Lin Yan could no longer endure, directly setting an 8-year agreement with Su Yanghua, declaring the grandiose words of not bullying the poor youth. Everyone laughed at Lin Yan for overestimating himself. After all, his cultivation talent was evident to all, having practiced for years without even reaching the blood solidification realm. Fortunately, at a critical moment, Lin Yan awakened the strongest flame emperor system. He was rewarded with a ball of extraordinary fire right from the start. Though its initial strength was not very high, it could evolve by burning enemies. Furthermore, as long as he used this extraordinary fire to burn enemies, the system would provide various rewards. With the system's help, Lin Yan resolutely left his family to venture out. Over the 8 years with the system's assistance, his cultivation improved at a visible pace. He has now reached the 5th level of the Bitter Sea realm and earned the reputation of being the son of flame in the outside world, bestowed the title of a prodigy by many. Today he returns to the ancient emperor city to seek Lin Yan and Su Yanghua to wash away the humiliation of the past. Lin Yan, today I will make you kneel and repent for your decision 8 years ago. As for Su Yanghua, you claim to come from the imperial clan Su family. Today I will make you realize that the so-called glory of the imperial clan is worthless before me. I will trample you underfoot and humiliate you fiercely. On the other side, Su Chen sat cross-legged in meditation within the 9-dragon chariot, surrounded by hundreds of spirit herbs that emitted vast amounts of spiritual energy. In the 9 heavens realm, most ordinary cultivators used spirit stones for daily cultivation. Some top-tier forces or orthodoxies, however, employed the more precious spirit sources. As for someone like Su Chen, who directly used spirit herbs for cultivation, it could only be described as unprecedented. Every herb around him was of the highest grade. Any single one, if placed in the outside world, would cause a frenzy among countless people. At this moment, as Su Chen activated his cultivation technique, the essence contained within these supreme spirit herbs was forcibly extracted, transforming into streams of pure, fundamental energy that poured into his Bitter Sea. Cultivation at the Bitter Sea realm was exceedingly simple. It only required accumulating fundamental energy within the Bitter Sea. It could be said that with sufficient resources, even an ordinary person could rapidly break through to the peak. Yet now, after absorbing several hundred supreme spirit herbs, anyone else would have likely broken through 2 or 3 minor realms. However, Su Chen's Bitter Sea did not even stir a ripple. Having such a vast Bitter Sea isn't necessarily a good thing. It consumes too many resources for cultivation. Su Chen let out a soft sigh. Upon hearing this, the group of sage veterans outside the chariot couldn't help but twitch the corners of their mouths. Throughout history, which cultivator didn't believe the larger the Bitter Sea, the better? Probably only their own imperial son would be troubled by having a Bitter Sea that was too vast. The 9-dragon chariot traversed through the void, a golden path of light extending beneath it. All who saw it couldn't help but draw in a sharp breath, pausing to gaze in awe. Imperial son, we have arrived at the ancient emperor city. An old veteran suddenly spoke with reverence. Su Chen nodded, stepped out of the chariot, and looked down. Before him lay an ancient city, which from afar resembled a primordial beast standing between heaven and earth. So this is the ancient emperor's city. A gleam of light flashed in Su Chen's eyes. According to the records in the original novel, the origin of the ancient emperor's city was astonishing. It was the former homeland of a certain supreme emperor, containing a trace of imperial aura, and had existed for countless epochs. Moreover, within the city lay a fragment of an emperor's legacy. Although incomplete, it was still terrifyingly powerful. After all, an emperor stood at the pinnacle of the ultimate path, and anything connected to an emperor was nothing simple. According to the novel, the incomplete emperor's legacy was ultimately obtained by Lin Yan. With its help, Lin Yan soared to greatness and embarked on an invincible. As he murmured softly, a smile crept onto Su Chen's lips. Since he had come to the ancient emperor's city, he naturally would not miss out on the incomplete emperor's. As for Lin Yan, the destined protagonist, he would not let him go either. At this point, Lin Yan is probably already on his way to the Nalan family to fulfill the 8-year pact with Su Yonghua. As he spoke, the 9-dragon chariot slowly made its way toward the ancient emperor's city, arriving at its gates in no time. Flying was prohibited within the city, but that restriction applied only to ordinary cultivators and forces. As a current imperial clan, the Su family was not bound by it. At this moment, the 9-dragon chariot traversed the void, quickly drawing everyone's attention. "See which great figure is traveling. Such a grand spectacle. Even the lords of sacred lands and immortal emperors are no more than this. Look at the clan emblem on the chariot. It's the Su clan's chariot. Is the Su clan's patriarch traveling?" Amid the crowd's murmurs, the chariot swiftly entered the ancient emperor's city. The Nalan family. As one of the 5 great families of the ancient emperor's city, though not a top-tier force in the 9 heavens realm, they still enjoyed some renown. Especially 8 years ago, when Nalan Yan of the Nalan family somehow managed to board the great ship of the imperial Su clan, greatly elevating the Nalan family's strength in recent years. Now they were showing signs of becoming the foremost family of the ancient emperor's city. However, today the Nalan family received an uninvited guest. "Su Yonghua, Nalan Yan, get out here." A low roar shook the clouds. Lin Yan carried a heavy ruler on his back, his face filled with determination. In an instant, all members of the Nalan family rushed out. "Lin Yan, I didn't expect you to actually dare come and fulfill the 8-year pact. Oh, but I can only say you're seeking death. How could you possibly defeat young Master Yonghua? A waste will always be a waste. 8 years ago you were, 8 years later you still are." The crowd mocked Lin Yan, their faces full of derision. Lin Yan remained silent, his gaze fixed on a young man among the crowd. The youth was dressed in luxurious robes with handsome features and an aquiline nose. Golden Dao runes occasionally flickered in his pupils, and his black hair was casually draped behind him, exuding an air of arrogance. By his right side, he held a girl with delicate features clad in a red gauze dress with bright red lips. Her wavy long hair added a touch of allure, making her appear even more enchanting. The youth and the girl were none other than the protagonists of this event, Su Yonghua and Lin Yan. "Lin Yan, I didn't think you'd actually come." Su Yonghua smiled at Lin Yan, his face showing no concern. As a young prodigy of the imperial Su clan, he carried imperial blood in his veins, his strength far surpassing that of his peers. In his eyes, Lin Yan was merely a toy that could be destroyed at will. The so-called 8-year pact was nothing more than a game he had started on a whim back then. Today it was time to put an end to this game. Lin Yan stared intently at Su Yonghua, saying nothing. After a moment, he suddenly shifted his gaze to Lin Yan and said in a low voice, "I am no longer what I was. If you are willing to turn back now, I can still forgive you." Admittedly, despite having acquired a system, Lin Yan's inherent nature remained unchanged. He was still a lovesick fool. Lin Yan glanced at Lin Yan, a trace of disgust in her eyes. "Do you think that's possible? I have never regretted what happened 8 years ago. Even if given a second chance, I would still choose to break off the engagement with you." Back then, the reason Lin Yan chose to break off the engagement with Lin Yan was not for any other reason, but simply because Lin Yan's character was too weak and he had given up on himself. As the young leader of the Yan clan, having low talent was one thing, but he also lacked ambition, spending his days idling away. Moreover, he took pride in his laziness, often boasting in front of her. Lin Yan had tried to persuade him at first, but Lin Yan remained unrepentant. Over time, Lin Yan became utterly disappointed with him and ultimately chose to break off the engagement. In her eyes, Lin Yan was not worthy of being called a man, nor was he worthy of her. Lin Yan's words pierced Lin Yan's fragile heart, causing his body to tremble and his eyes to turn red. Pointing at Lin Yan, he shouted, "Fine. Since that's the case today, I will make you regret what you did 8 years ago and make you kneel before me in repentance. I will make you understand the truth. 30 years east of the river, 30 years west of the river. Do not bully the young and poor." As he spoke, he turned to Su Yonghua. "Come, let us fight today to wash away my shame. I will show you that your vaunted imperial Su clan is nothing but worthless." Today I will trample you under my feet. Lin Yan looked at Su Yanghua with eyes that seemed to burn with flame. 8 years ago, it was this very man who wrecked his life, leaving him humiliated and mocked, and even stealing his fiancée. The hatred of a stolen wife will not be shared with heaven. Trample me beneath your heel. Shatter the honor of the imperial clan. How utterly Su Yanghua's gaze toward Lin Yan turned icier and colder, a cutting murderous intent spread through his eyes. So, I was only toying with you like a cat with a mouse. Today the game ends. I will make you pay for your words, and teach you what it means to insult the imperial clan. With those words he sprang onto the prepared arena, and Lin Yan followed without hesitation. There was no wasted exchange of words between them. The battle erupted. Su Yanghua struck first. He tolerated no insult to the Su family's imperial dignity and refused to waste a moment. He sought to end the enemy swiftly and absolutely. Light gathered around his fingers as a divine glow fell and crystallized into a frigid sword chi. In an instant the entire arena was soaked in cold sword light. 5 strands of sword chi braided together their slaughtering force, earth-shaking. It was the 5-element Kongjin sword chi, one of the supreme core legacies of the 5-element sanctuary. 5 sword chi, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, launched together, fabled to be able to slay gods and demons alike. When the 5-element sanctuary was overthrown by the Su family, these 5 sword chi naturally fell into their hands. Hissing, golden sword chi sliced across the air, surging toward Lin Yan. Su Yanghua, why do you still think I am the boy you could trample as you please? Lin Yan said coldly, thrusting a fist forward to meet the 5-element Kongjin sword chi Hedon. A white flame gushed from his fist. Strangely though it blazed fiercely, it gave off no warmth. Instead it exuded a bone-chilling cold. This was one of the rare mystic flames he had collected over the years. Bone-cold flame. Ranked 14th on the mystic flames list, its potency terrifying. The cold spread and froze the 5-element Kongjin sword chi, which then shattered beneath his blow. HSS. Lin Yan has truly returned from his 8 years of trial reborn. The watchers could not help but exclaim in admiration. Lin Yan on the arena heard their praise and wore a look of triumph. Yet his elation was short-lived. Roar. A violent roar split the air, and a beastly form erupted from behind Su Yanghua. It resembled a true dragon, horned and scaled in black, radiating a profound draconic majesty. This is the true dragon art. The onlookers were struck dumb with fear. The true dragon lord among the 10 ferocities is a creature of legend. Its primordial technique is terrifying beyond measure, more dreadful than many imperial legacies. And yet now Su Yanghua had manifested it. Soon, however, an elder of ancient standing discerned a subtle difference. Not the true dragon art. Though it appears similar, it lacks the invincible aura of a true dragon. This must be the Chi dragon art. With the elder's explanation, understanding rippled through the crowd. Even so, the revelation was astonishing. The Chi dragon are descendants of the true dragon, fierce sky-tier beasts renowned throughout the 9 heavens. That the Su family possessed a primordial art of that breed was remarkable. It simply demonstrated how profound the Su family's imperial heritage was. Its foundations stretched across countless eras and were frighteningly deep. Chi dragon primordial arts were scarcely passed down. Even if one were to acquire such a thing by chance, the Chi dragon clan themselves would move heaven and earth to reclaim it. They would never tolerate its open circulation. In the past, a grand sect who inadvertently obtained a Chi dragon primordial art was utterly wiped out in a single day once the Chi dragon learned of it. And now Su Yanghua used the Chi dragon art so brazenly, truly befitting the title of imperial clan. Roar. A dragon's roar shook the heavens as a phantasmal form woven from great Tao runes lunged to rend Lin Yan. He had been basking in the onlookers' flattery, proud and complacent. The sudden Chi dragon phantom shocked him into panic. He scrambled to evade. Though his supreme footwork allowed him to barely slip past, he crashed to the ground in disgrace, appearing utterly disheveled. Blinded by vanity and wounded pride, Lin Yan felt his face flushed with humiliation. Su Yanghua, this duel ends now. Prepare to be crushed. He roared and decided to unleash his trump card. He summoned the bone-cold flame, and then called forth 2 more mystic flames in rapid succession. A Xianhuang flame and a myriad beast's spirit fire, 3 mystic flames in total, were the fruits of his 8 years of trials. In addition, the system had granted him another mystic flame as a reward. For mystic flames now circled his body. The spectators gaped in astonishment. Mystic flames are born of heaven and earth. To obtain even one is a great fortune. Yet Lin Yan had mastered 4 at once. What great fortune for mystic flames! This fellow's destiny is absurdly deep. Hearing the praise, Lin Yan sneered at Su Yanghua with contempt. Today is your death. The shame you inflicted upon me once I return to you in full. As he spoke, he fused the 4 mystic flames together. In an instant, a terrifying energy surged forth. Mystic flames are wildly incompatible by nature, forcing them to merge, unleashed a ferocious power. The burst of energy was akin to the might of the dragon transformation realm. Not good. Su Yanghua's face changed. He could feel that if Lin Yin completed the fusion, he would surely lose. His only chance was to interrupt the fusion. Thinking so, Su Yanghua simultaneously unleashed the 5-element Kongjin Sword Qi and the Qi Dragon Art to suppress Lin Yin. At that moment, a deep, weighty soul force exuded from Lin Yin. An ancient soul phantom appeared above his head and bound Su Yanghua in place. A Saint Realm soul phantom. Su Yanghua's face went pale. The surrounding onlookers were stunned. Lin Yin had called forth a saint-level soul phantom to aid him in an unknown duel. One could hardly describe such conduct as merely despicable. It was despicable and shameless, unworthy of the title of prodigy. Lin Yin, you are base and shameless. Lin Yin spat furious. A black silhouette shot forth, the protector of Su Yanghua, a peak apex great power realm powerhouse. Though the apex great power realm and the saint realm were separated by a slender line, the gap in strength between them was as vast as heaven and earth, an unbridgeable abyss. The protector and apex great power at his peak was fixed in place in an instant. Lin Yin watched unmoved, wearing a look of smug satisfaction, as if proud. To him, everything felt perfectly just. The 4 mystic flames had finished their fusion and blossomed into a single lotus of flame. The mystic flame lotus. Su Yanghua, your time has come. Die. He snarled and hurled the burning lotus at Su Yanghua. The searing energy made the surrounding air seem viscous. The mystic flame lotus descended towards Su Yanghua. Yet at that instant a voice suddenly thundered from the heavens. How dare you? How dare you? A sudden voice echoed through the heavens and earth. Though not loud, it seemed to resound in everyone's ears. At the same time, a figure appeared like a ghost before Su Yanghua, facing the oncoming divine lotus of alien fire. The figure's face showed no expression, not even lifting an eyelid as it caught it barehanded. Boom! A violent explosion rang out, scorching flames shot into the sky, burning the heavens. The terrifying temperature made the surrounding air viscous as waves of heat spread visibly outward. Among the crowd, that figure stood unmoving like an ancient divine mountain. The onlookers stared in shock. It was an old soldier clad in dark armor. Though stooped, his aura was like an abyss, causing everyone present to freeze in awe, their spines chilled, as if facing an ancient ferocious beast. Who are you? Why do you interfere with our duel? Blocked. Lin Yan's eyes blazed with fury. If not for the interference, that strike of the divine lotus of alien fire would have been enough to suppress Su Yanghua. Yet facing his questioning, the old man said nothing, merely casting a faint glance at him. That single glance instantly extinguished Lin Yan's anger, plunging him into an icy abyss. He could sense that the opponent's strength was absurdly powerful. Even if the opponent wished, that one glance could have killed him instantly. At this thought, a feeling of terror spread in his heart. He frantically sent messages to the remnant saint's soul residing within him. This remnant soul, named Yao Lao, was discovered by him in an ancient ruin. The soul resided in his body, and they had an agreement: if Lin Yin faced danger, the soul would save him at the critical moment. In return, once Lin Yin grew strong enough, he would help reshape a physical body for the soul. The reason Lin Yin had been confident to defeat Su Yanghua was precisely because of Yao Lao's presence within him. But now, facing the suddenly appearing old soldier, no matter how he called out, Yao Lao gave no response, as if he didn't exist. Damn it! Old fool, you let me down at the critical moment. If I die today, you won't survive either. Lin Yin cursed in his heart. Fortunately, the old soldier showed no intention to attack him. After blocking his strike, he remained in place, as if waiting for something to descend. Seeing this, a glimmer of hope arose in Lin Yan's heart. He quickly took out a talisman from his storage ring. This talisman, called the Realm-Breaking Talisman, was one of the supreme rewards he obtained from the system. It was an ancient talisman containing extremely dense space. When used, it could instantly open a spatial gate, allowing cross-realm travel. It was a top-tier life-saving artifact, and one of his ultimate trump cards. If not for the overwhelming pressure from the old soldier, he would never have used it. He'll remember this debt. 30 years east of the river, 30 years west of the river. Don't bully a youth for being poor. This day's matter, I will return it one day. Lin Yin pointed at the old soldier and said harshly. Then he glanced at Su Yanghua and roared, "You're lucky you got to keep your life. Next time we meet, I will kill you. As for the so-called imperial Su clan behind you, I will one day trample it myself." The next moment, he decisively activated the talisman in his hand. Instantly, dense spatial energy radiated, and a magnificent spatial gate was. Seeing this, Lin Yin charged in without hesitation. But just then, another voice suddenly rang out from the void. "Trample my Su clan." What audacity! The voice was not loud, but it contained boundless majesty. The next moment, the void trembled, and an extremely terrifying black hand suddenly reached out from the void. The spatial gate constructed by Lin Yin using the ancient talisman was instantly erased, turning into ruins. At the same time, roar! A roar resounded dragon chant, shaking the heavens. The entire space seemed to tremble. The next moment 9 huge flood dragons, exuding terrifying dragon might, pulled a golden chariot slowly out of the void, their golden pupils like blazing. A golden path stretched across the heavens, and around the 9-dragon chariot myriad visions spontaneously evolved, as if the heavenly emperor was on a journey. Countless old soldiers cleared the way ahead. Each of these soldiers exuded an aura as deep as an abyss. When combined, even the casual aura they emitted caused the surrounding void to barely withstand. And that voice just now came from the 9-dragon chariot. Hiss! What a great figure arrives in person, such a terrifying array. Seeing this, the crowd couldn't help but gasp. The 9 flood dragons alone gave them an irresistible pressure, and the 300 old soldiers were even more Could this array be the exit of a sacred land's lord, or an immortal dynasty's emperor? The crowd prostrated on the ground, trembling involuntarily. Su Yanghua, seeing this, was moved. The moment he saw the 9-dragon chariot, he had already guessed who was inside. The one who entered the imperial prince's palace. Thinking this, he couldn't help but swallow. With such a terrifying travel array, could the rumors be true? Could that really be a taboo figure of the Su clan, living a second life? As for Lin Yan, when he saw the spatial gate collapse, he was stunned. At the same time, a sense of crisis arose in his heart, as if a natural enemy was about to appear. His heart became flustered at that moment. This sense of crisis grew stronger until it peaked the moment the 9-dragon chariot appeared. At the same time, in his mind, the system emitted a series of urgent alert. System reminder: host, please leave your current location immediately. A great terror is about to appear. Beep, urgent alert. System reminder: host, please leave your current location immediately. A great terror is about to appear. The urgent alarms made Lin Yan's heart even more fearful. The system's alert warned of a great terror descending. This was the first time such a thing had happened. Thinking this, he instantly wanted to flee. But at that moment, an extremely terrifying aura suddenly locked onto him from the 9-dragon chariot, making him dare not move rashly. So it's you who wants to trample my Su clan. A frigid voice echoed across heaven and earth, plunging the entire assembly into dead silence. All eyes were fixed on the 9-dragon chariot. Lin Yan at this moment felt an immense pressure weighing upon him. An invisible aura locked onto him, crushing him as if under a mountain of 10,000 tons, making his breathing quicken and grow labored. The curtain of the 9-dragon chariot parted. A young boy slowly stepped out from within. Clad in pure white robes, the youth was naturally handsome and elegant. Though young, his stature was already tall and straight. His body emanated a faint glow, exuding an ethereal, immortal aura like a celestial being descended to the mortal world, carrying a dignity beyond his years. Gazing at his silhouette, the crowd seemed to see a heavenly emperor standing with his back to all living beings. What was most extraordinary, however, were his pupils. Within them, countless runes flickered and interwove, as if evolving a vast cosmos. This youth was none other than Su Chen. Oh! At that moment, a young girl suddenly cried out. She had been staring into Su Chen's pupils and unconsciously fell into a trance, unable to extricate herself. Had the elder beside her not pulled her back at the critical moment, her true spirit would have sunk deeper and deeper, eventually fading into oblivion through the cycle of what terrifying eyes. The crowd instinctively stepped back, no longer daring to meet Su Chen's gaze. Wait, those eyes. Double pupils. This is the legendary double pupils. At that moment, an ancient elder suddenly cried out in shock, recognizing Su Chen. In an instant, the crowd stirred. Everyone looked at Su Chen with stunned expressions. The fame of the double pupils was simply too great. In ancient times, those born with double pupils were hailed as natural-born deities and sages. The double pupils split the heavens, undefeated since antiquity, never once tasting defeat. This was not mere empty talk. It was a reputation forged through generations of double pupils earned through their combat prowess. Although the double pupils were not among the 3,000 Dao bodies, they could still contend with the top 10 most powerful physiques among them. And now the double pupils had appeared in the youth before them. The golden age has arrived. Could this be true? Even the double pupils have emerged. The double pupils have never been defeated. This is a supreme, undefeatable talent. The crowd buzzed with discussion. Listening to the murmurs, Lin Yan, still standing on the arena, felt his heart sink. As he looked at Su Chen, a deep fear mingled with intense jealousy flickered in him. Why? Why was he born bathed in radiance? Why did he possess a supreme talent, causing an uproar the moment he appeared? At this thought, Lin Yan's loathing for the youth grew even stronger. He silently resolved that once he grew strong and became an emperor, he would not spare this youth. He would not spare the Su clan either. He would drown them in blood, erasing them from the annals of history. However, before that, he needed to survive this immediate crisis. With this in mind, instead of directly answering Su Chen's question, he pointed at Su Yanghua and said, "He insulted my dignity first. Today I challenged him to a fair fight, yet your Su clan intervened time and again, making things difficult for me. Is this the bearing of an imperial clan? Do you only bully with your power? Sharp-tongued and still making excuses. Su Chen sneered, taking a sudden step forward. In that instant, the bitter sea trembled, golden mana surged forth, and a terrifying pressure enveloped Lin Yan. Although in terms of cultivation realm Lin Yan was far stronger than Su Chen, he could not withstand the pressure Su Chen released. His body involuntarily bent, and he nearly fell to his knees. At that moment Su Chen continued, "You dare speak of a fair fight. During the battle the remnant soul of a sage inside you forcefully intervened. Is that what you call fairness?" As he finished he took another step forward. The invisible pressure grew even more terrifying. The golden bitter sea glowed, and faintly the sound of waves crashing could be. Moreover, indistinct visions began to slowly manifest behind Su Chen. "Besides, you seem to have misunderstood something. The Su clan is an imperial clan. The dignity of an imperial clan cannot be insulted." As he spoke, Su Chen took another step forward. At this moment, countless visions within his bitter sea fully materialized. 3,000 demons, 3,000 Buddhas, and 3,000 deities prostrated behind him chanting scriptures. Ancient mysterious hymns echoed in the ears of the crowd, as if from a bygone era. The immortal king overseeing the 9 heavens, the sun and moon rising over the sea, the green lotus illuminating the stars. Various visions appeared above Su Chen's head, making him appear even more transcendent. The invisible pressure instantly surged. Lin Yan could no longer bear it. His body bent, and with a thud he fell to his knees, his head hitting the ground. He struggled desperately to rise, but it was futile. Meanwhile the onlookers watched in shock, their expressions filled with awe. Such terrifying visions. No wonder he is a double pupils. At the same bitter sea realm, he can force a cultivator of the same level to kneel with sheer awe. The double pupils split the heavens, undefeated since antiquity. That saying is no empty boast. I dare say that even across the entire 9 heavens realm the double pupils are among the most elite geniuses. The imperial throne of this generation. This double pupils has a chance to contend for it. The crowd buzzed with amazement, their eyes full of shock. Many young maidens gazing at Su Chen's tall back could not help but let their gazes linger. Powerful, peerless talent, and a formidable background. Such a youth was utterly irresistible to all maidens. Listening to the discussions, Lin Yan, still kneeling on the ground, felt nothing but humiliation. 8 years ago his fiancée was taken from him, and he was mocked by. 8 years later he had hoped to avenge his shame. Instead he was once again humiliated, forced to his knees in public, unable to struggle. At this moment Lin Yan's pride could no longer be contained. He struggled to raise his head, his eyes bloodshot as he stared at Su Chen, roaring in a low voice, "Word by word today. If I survive I will repay this humiliation 100-fold in the future. I will also pay a visit to your Su clan and turn it into a river of blood." "It seems you still haven't understood what I said." Su Chen looked at Lin Yan with a sardonic smile. As the saying goes, weakness is never the obstacle to survival. Facing death, yet still daring to boast and threaten the enemy. Isn't that simply asking for death? It must be said that a protagonist like Lin Yan without the protection of a protagonist's halo would have died countless times already. This time his luck ran out. He met Su Chen. Without any further words, Su Chen instantly appeared above Lin Yan, stepped forward, and planted his foot directly on Lin Yan's face. The terrifying force turned his face into a bloody mess. "I have already said it once. The dignity of an imperial clan cannot be insulted. Do you think?" As he spoke, Su Chen wasted no more time. Mana surged as he prepared to deliver a killing blow. But at that moment thunder roared, countless bolts of lightning flashed the sky, changed color, and a terrifying pressure spread. In the next instant the entire sky turned crimson, as if molten lava were falling. "What is happening?" The crowd stared at the sky in terror. Su Chen narrowed his eyes, a faint smile curling at the corner of his mouth. He murmured, "So it's here." Then a massive fire phoenix soared into the sky. A piercing cry echoed through the heavens. At the same time a gigantic fiery red face appeared in the firmament. A grand furious voice resounded, "Who dares to lay a hand on my son?" A voice brimming with fury resounded across the heavens. The next moment the enormous fiery face in the sky began to flow slowly, eventually transforming into a middle-aged man clad in a red robe, who landed atop the head of the fire phoenix. This middle-aged man exuded an overbearing and unparalleled aura, his eyes blazing like flames. 7-colored fire slowly burned all over his body, scorching the surrounding space until it seemed on the verge of collapse. When he saw Lin Yan being trampled under Su Chen's foot, his expression froze momentarily, then his eyes turned bloodshot and murderous intent surged. "Is it you who seeks to kill my son?" He stared at Su Chen, speaking each word deliberately, flames dancing in his eyes. He extended a single hand which transformed into a massive flaming palm, reaching out to grab Su Chen. Su Chen's expression remained unchanged. He did not even lift an eyelid. Indeed, as recorded in the original novel, Lin Yan's father is a peak saint-level powerhouse, and his Flame clan is one of the ancient 8 clans. Murmuring softly, a hint of a smile curled at the corners of Su Chen's mouth. The Flame clan to which Lin Yan belonged appeared on the surface to be a fallen minor clan, and his father seemed merely an ordinary orifice-opening cultivator. Yet in reality the Flame clan was far from ordinary. It was one of the ancient 8 clans of supreme noble family. Lin Petion, his father, was not at the orifice-opening realm at all, but a genuine saint. In this era where no great emperor had emerged and supremes and quasi-emperors lay dormant, saints were the strongest visible power. When Lin Yan encountered Old Yao in the ancient ruins, did he truly believe Old Yao willingly struck a deal with him? Clearly not. How could a saint-level remnant soul possibly trade with a mere bitter sea cultivator? The truth was that Lin Petion's avatar intervened, covertly compelling Old Yao to agree to the deal with Lin Yan. And Old Yao's true trading partner was never Lin Yan, but Lin Petion behind him. Although saint-level experts were terrifying in Su Chen's eyes, they amounted to nothing. After all, every one of his 300 veteran soldiers possessed great saint-level cultivation. A single finger could crush such an opponent. Humph! How dare you attack our young master? Seeking death. The veteran commander named Su Jiao snorted coldly, reaching out and pinching the air. The next moment the massive hand formed of flames directly disintegrated. His cultivation had already reached the half-quasi-emperor level. Lin Petion, a peak saint, was utterly insignificant before him. Had the young master not ordered him to spare the man, he could have crushed him to death 800 times over with a single slap. Lin Petion was stunned, his face blank, muttering this. Half-quasi-emperor. What has Yenner done to provoke such a terrifying existence? Just then a calm voice suddenly rang out, snapping him back to reality. You are Lin Yan's father. Lin Petion looked down to see a young boy gazing at him with an indifferent expression. Though young, the boy carried an extraordinary bearing and an intangible authority. In his pupils countless Tao runes swirled and interwove, evolving into a complete universe. Even as a saint-level expert, Lin Petion involuntarily felt his own presence diminish before the youth. Double-pupiled one, he exclaimed in shock, instantly recognizing the origin of Su Chen's eyes. Yet that was not the most terrifying part. What truly horrified him was that the half-quasi-emperor powerhouse seemed to defer to this youth. Moreover, he now noticed that he could not see through a single one of the veteran soldiers guarding the youth. He was a peak saint, yet he could not fathom their cultivation levels. How terrifying must they be? Saint King. Great saint. At this thought, Lin Petion couldn't help but shudder. Such a formation. Not even the Flame clan, a mere noble family, nor the sacred lands or immortal dynasties possessed such a dreadful foundation. With this realization, his overbearing demeanor vanished, entirely replaced by a hint of restraint. Our young master is speaking to you, did you not hear? Get down here. Su Jiao barked, releasing a faint quasi-emperor aura. Under its oppressive force, Lin Petion's body swayed, and he fell directly from. As for the hybrid blood-fire phoenix beneath his feet, it instantly exploded into a shower of blood. With a crash, Lin Petion plummeted to the ground, landing heavily in utter disgrace. However, upon seeing Lin Yan's miserable state under Su Chen's foot, he quickly scrambled up, attempting to approach. But Su Jiao appeared before him. A heavy foot descended onto his face, slamming him brutally into the earth. Lin Petion could not move an inch, overwhelmed by a profound sense of. As a peak saint, he was always revered wherever he went. When had he ever suffered such treatment? Yet circumstances dictated otherwise. Seeing his son similarly trampled, he wisely chose silence, turning his gaze to Su Chen, awaiting what would come next. Su Chen released Lin Yan from under his foot and walked slowly to Lin Petion. He did not strike Lin Petion dead directly, as this was merely an avatar. Killing it would serve no purpose. Casually summoning the unconscious Lin Yan before him, Su Chen looked at Lin Petion with a faint smile. Do you want to save your son? I'll give you a chance. I will stay here for 3 days. Within those 3 days you may attempt to rescue your son from me. If you succeed, I will spare both of you. Remember, I give you only 3 days. If you do not come, your son dies. As he spoke, Su Chen signaled Su Jiao with a glance, who unhesitatingly crushed Lin Petion's avatar with a single palm strike. Then Su Chen ordered Lin Yan's cultivation to be crippled, his bones shattered into pieces. As for the saint remnant soul within him, Su Jiao personally extracted and annihilated it on the spot. Ding! You have slain Old Yao. Detected that Old Yao was closely tied to the growth of the chosen one, Lin Yan. Reward supporting character, chest. A chest appeared in the system space. Su Chen did not open it immediately. Instead, he turned and walked back to the 9-dragon chariot. Young master, are you really letting them go? Remember, if you do not uproot the weeds, they will grow back when the spring wind blows. Su Jiao hesitated, then stepped forward. He feared Su Chen might develop arrogance and underestimate his enemies, leaving endless trouble by sparing them. Rest assured, I have my plan, Su Chen said. He understood the principle of uprooting evil completely. Lin Yan must die, and Lin Petion would not be spared either. But before killing them, he intended to squeeze every ounce of their value dry. He would lure all those connected to Lin Yan here and annihilate them in one fell swoop. After all, slaying a chosen one yielded a destiny chest, while killing those closely related to the chosen one granted supporting character chests. Those were all precious destiny villain points not to be missed. At night the stars twinkle, and the moonlight flows like water. In the ancient Emperor's city within the City Lord's mansion, my lord, your secret chamber is ready. The City Lord Zhou Ming stood respectfully behind Su Chen. The Nine Heavens realm is divided into the Celestial realm, the Earth realm, the Mystic realm, the Yellow realm, the Cosmic realm, the Temporal realm, the Flood realm, and the Wasteland realm corresponding to the heavens and the earth. In addition, there is the Ninth realm, the Emperor realm. The main base of the Su family is located in the Emperor realm. As an imperial clan, the Su family has countless affiliated forces under its command governing 30% of the territory of the entire Emperor realm. The ancient Emperor city happens to be within this 30%. When Su Chen took out the imperial seal, Zhou Ming immediately understood the identity of the person before him and became extremely respectful, even voluntarily yielding the City Lord's mansion. You may leave now. Su Chen nodded casually, and Zhou Ming immediately retreated, trembling with respect. As he left the City Lord's mansion, he let out a sigh. Looking towards the City Lord's mansion, he couldn't help but exclaim, "Indeed, he is the imperial heir." Although still young, just standing beside him, the invisible aura he emanates overwhelms one with pressure, as if facing a young emperor. As the City Lord of the ancient Emperor city, Zhou Ming prided himself on having seen countless prodigies and even some ancient anomalies. However, compared to the one inside the City Lord's mansion, they all fell far short in demeanor. In this life, the Su family may soar to great heights, leveraging this child to contend for imperial destiny once more. Inside the City Lord's mansion, after dismissing Zhou Ming, Su Chen entered a secret chamber alone. He took out an imperial great array disc and set up a form. Only then did he sit down cross-legged. He opened the system space and took out the side character treasure chest obtained after defeating Elder Yao during the day. Without hesitation, he chose to open it. With a crisp sound, the lid of the treasure chest popped open. In the next moment, a series of mechanical synthesis sounds echoed in his mind. Ding dong, you have opened the side character treasure chest. Ding dong, you have opened the side character treasure chest. Congratulations, you have received the reward Silver Dragon Load. Congratulations, you have received the reward Millennium Galaxy Sand. Congratulations, you have received the reward Source Divine Pill. Congratulations, you have received the reward Destiny Villain Points X 5000. Due to Elder Yao not being a significant side character, the rewards from this treasure chest were not particularly generous. The Silver Dragon Lotus, a sacred medicinal herb, is said to have been born from the blood of a true dragon spilling into a pond during a battle across the heavens, possessing powerful effects of cleansing marrow and altering one's constitution. However, Su Chen's talent had already reached a terrifying level. Even the sacred herb Silver Dragon Lotus held no effect on him anymore, unable to enhance his foundational physique. As for the Millennium Galaxy Sand, it is an excellent material for forging Dao weapons. Su Chen's physical body had grown to an unimaginable extent, making ordinary Dao weapons less sturdy than his body. Regarding the final Source Divine Pill, it was somewhat beneficial to him. This is an ancient divine pill. The method of its refinement has been lost, and it can enhance the source, particularly suitable for practitioners in the Bitter Sea realm. Most importantly, the Source Divine Pill has no side effects after use. At least there is a practical reward. Su Chen smiled slightly as he picked up the Silver Dragon Lotus and the Source Divine Pill, swallowing them in one go. Although the Silver Dragon Lotus could not enhance his foundational physique, it contains vast energy that can be converted into a large amount of source. As soon as the Source Divine Pill and Silver Dragon Lotus entered his mouth, they transformed into a stream of pure energy and surged into Su Chen's body. Su Chen quickly operated the Indestructible Sutra. In the next moment, this pure energy transformed into a rich source power, injecting itself into the Bitter Sea. With the injection of this source power, the originally calm golden Bitter Sea began to stir, visibly expanding at a rapid pace. At this moment, Su Chen's cultivation level began to soar. Bitter Sea Realm 2nd layer. Bitter Sea Realm 3rd layer. Bitter Sea Realm 4th layer. In the blink of an eye, Su Chen's cultivation skyrocketed to the 7th layer of the Bitter Sea Realm. The once vast Bitter Sea became even more grand, stretching infinitely with no end in sight. The phenomena above the Bitter Sea also became more sacred at this moment. The golden immortal, surrounded by 3,000 demons, 3,000 Buddhas, and 3,000 deities, became even more substantial. Suppress it for me. At this moment, Su Chen suddenly shouted, beginning to crazily suppress his realm. This was a method taught to him by the 9 ancestors. By continuously suppressing his realm, he made his foundation even more solid. He had just soared to the 7th layer of the Bitter Sea realm, yet at this moment, it was continuously retreating. Ultimately, he was forcibly suppressed to the 3rd layer of the Bitter Sea realm. However, although his realm decreased, the area of the golden Bitter Sea did not change at all. It remained vast and sacred. Moreover, as his realm stabilized at the third layer of the Bitter Sea realm in the Golden Bitter Sea, as the source power surged, the second and third golden immortals appeared in succession. These were all manifestations of Su Chen's Tao fruit. Not bad. A divine pill not only allowed me to break through 2 small realms in succession, but the indestructible sutra also reached the late stage of the first layer, and my body has become even stronger. As he spoke, Su Chen looked at his own body. He could feel how terrifying the blood and chi power contained within this body was. Now his physical strength was so formidable that even without using magic power and runes, he could slap to death a practitioner at the aperture opening realm with just the power of blood and chi. If combined with magic power and runes, he would even have the strength to fight against practitioners at the dragon transformation realm. Not bad. He nodded in satisfaction, very pleased with his current state. For the next few days I will first complete the sign-in and then wait for Lin Patian to bring people to my door in 3 days. He murmured softly, already having arrangements for the next 2 days. On the other side, in a certain secret chamber of the Yin clan, Lin Patian suddenly opened his eyes filled with anger and humiliation. Due to the emotional turmoil, a tangible flame surged from his body. The secret chamber he was in completely ignited at this moment, and an aura of a saint reverberated through the heavens and earth. Good, very good. You dare to harm my son and trample on my dignity. Lin Potion will remember this day. As he spoke, 3 ancient figures suddenly flew out from the Yin clan's ancestral shrine. Potion, what has happened? These 3 were all figures of the Yin clan's ancestral level, with the lowest cultivation reaching the Saint King realm, and the strongest among them had even touched the threshold of the Great Saint. As one of the ancient 8 clans, the Yin clan had declined, but even a dying camel is bigger than a horse. Seeing the ancestors appear, Lin Patian hurriedly stepped forward and recounted what had happened. However, he intentionally chose to conceal the existence of the 300 old soldiers. He knew very well that if he revealed the existence of those 300, the 3 ancestors would definitely not agree to intervene and rescue Lin Yin. They might even forcibly stop him from taking action. Yin clan. After listening to Lin Potion's narration, the 3 ancestors of the Yin clan were furious. Too outrageous. Do they really think the Yin clan is easy to bully? A mere brat dares to defecate on the head of our Yin clan's patriarch. The most hot-tempered among the 3 ancestors, Lin Yin, couldn't help but growl. The other 2 ancestors also had a cold glint in their eyes. This matter cannot be left like this. Yinner must be rescued, and the dignity of the Yin clan must be restored. The leading ancestor among the 3, Lin Kuan, said coldly. Seeing this, Lin Yin was overjoyed. With the 3 ancestors taking action, his chances of rescuing his son greatly increased. However, thinking of the 300 veteran soldiers, a trace of worry flickered across his face. But ancestor, the other side is after all the imperial clan Su family. With just the 4 of us. Before he could finish speaking, Lin Kuan coldly interrupted. Rest assured, there are more imperial clans in the world than just the Su family. Although our Yin clan has declined, we are not to be bullied. Moreover, in this operation, not only will we act, but the people of the other 7 clans will also join. The other 7 clans are also acting this time. Lin Yin was greatly shocked. Although the 8 ancient clans publicly declared a united front internally, they were not very harmonious. Especially in recent years, the Yin clan had declined. The contact with the other 7 clans had become fewer and fewer. The relationship between the 2 sides had long lost the harmony and unity of the ancient time. However, Lin Kuan revealed a confident smile. If it were normal times, the other 7 clans would certainly not help us. But if the 3rd generation ancestor of our Yin clan hasn't died yet. As he said this, a confident smile couldn't help but appear on his face. What? The 3rd generation ancestor is still alive. Lin Patian was greatly astonished. The Yin clan as a supreme clan was once glorious, and its 3rd generation ancestor Lin Lan was known as an unparalleled powerhouse in his time. His cultivation had reached the terrifying level of quasi-emperor, overwhelming the world, although he gradually faded into the river of history later. But what the world did not know was that he had never truly died. Instead, relying on part of the roots of the elixir of immortality, he had been lingering in the ancestral shrine of the Yin clan. Just recently, he finally made a major breakthrough. Using the roots of the elixir of immortality as a medium, he lived out a second life. His cultivation advanced even further, reaching the half-step supreme realm. In this era, with no great emperor, and with supremes and quasi-emperors in hiding, a half-step supreme ancestor was absolutely a breakthrough of the combat power ceiling. This was also the source of Lin Kuan's confidence to ignore the Su family and dare to say that there are more imperial clans than just the Su family. This time we will not only rescue Yinner and reclaim your trampled dignity, but also declare to the world that our Yin clan will rise across the heavens and restore the glory of ancient times. Lin Kuan was excited. Lin Patian, beside him, was also stirred with emotion. His heart at this moment could only be described as thrilled. Haha, That yellow-haired brat of the Su family. The humiliation you gave me, the humiliation you gave Yenner. In 3 days I will return it all to you. 30 years in the east, 30 years in the west. Don't bully the old poor. Meanwhile, on the other side, as time passed, all the events in the ancient emperor city during the day quickly spread out. Among them, the news about Su Chen was the most abundant. The double pupil has appeared. The double pupil comes from the imperial clan Su family, the imperial son of the Su family. Murmurs like this were endless, shaking all beings. People were full of curiosity about the double pupil of this generation. The double pupil opens the heavens, undefeated since ancient times, without a record of defeat. Some peerless prodigies had anticipation shining in their eyes. They were confident and soaring, wanting to compete with the legendary double pupil. There were also ancient freaks murmuring, the double pupil, who flows with imperial blood, I wonder how powerful he will be. The 3,000 immortal realms are about to open 100 boats, competing ancient prodigies gathering. Who will ultimately be the strongest? I am waiting. Immediately, many young prodigies headed towards the ancient emperor's city, wanting to see the legendary double pupil. Haha, what double pupil, what imperial blood. In this life, my primordial divine mountain will crush your Su family so that they cannot raise their heads. Above the primordial divine mountain and supreme being let out a cold laugh, then spread its wings and flew, transforming into a great azure rock, speeding towards the ancient emperor's city. The double pupil, interesting. Such a prodigy is destined to be connected with my Buddhist faith. Let me go and convert him. In the western Buddhist land, a Buddhist son with solemn appearance stepped on a green lotus and flew towards the ancient emperor's city. There were many similar scenes. At this moment, with the news of the double pupil spreading, all races were shaken. The ancient emperor's city became a gathering of forces, and countless prodigies rushed here. Even prodigies from other realms, upon receiving the news, rushed towards the ancient emperor's city, wanting to witness the elegance of the legendary double pupil. However, at this moment, Su Chen, who was at the center of the storm, was unusually calm. After successfully breaking through, he thought for a moment and went straight to the dungeon under the city lord's mansion. In the dark and damp dungeon, Lin Yin, who had been high-spirited during the day, saying, 30 years in the east, 30 years in the west. Don't bully the young poor, was now lying on the ground like a dead dog, occasionally letting out painful moans. Not only was his cultivation crippled, but all his bones and meridians were shattered by Su Chen's palm. Now, seeing Su Chen arrive, he suddenly became agitated, his pupils wide, struggling and roaring incessantly. Imperial son of the Su family, you will die a horrible death. I will kill you. I will make your Su family flow with blood. Lin Yin was like a madman, frenzied, like a beast ready to devour. The weak must have the demeanor of the weak. To roar and show your teeth before the strong. Do you really think I am easy to talk to? Su Chen frowned, a glint flashing in his eyes. He casually slashed out a divine light, directly sealing Lin Yan's mouth and severing all his limbs. Lin Yan was in extreme pain, but with his mouth sealed, he couldn't even moan. Su Chen was no living Buddha. If it weren't for extracting the remaining value from the other, he would have killed him with a single punch. Suzhou, following behind, saw this and felt a sense of relief. He had originally worried that the imperial son was not ruthless enough and could not exterminate his enemies. But now, seeing this, his worries were clearly unnecessary. The imperial son was clearly not a soft-hearted person. Imperial son, the task you assigned has been completed. The strange fire on this boy has been completely. At that moment, an old soldier stepped forward and handed Su Chen 4 clay jars and a storage ring that had been unsealed. Su Chen pocketed the 4 clay jars and the storage ring he had seized from Lin Yan. Lin Yan watched from the side, his eyes nearly splitting with rage. All of these had once been his possessions, the fruits of his labor. Especially the 4 strands of strange fire. Aside from the one bestowed by the system, the other 3 had been acquired by him through perilous trials at a Now they were effortlessly plundered by another, becoming the spoils for someone else. Whimpering, Lin Yan struggled wildly, but with his mouth sealed and limbs severed, what could he possibly do? All he could do was watch helplessly, unable even to vent his futile rage. I'll let you live for 2 more days. In 2 days I'll send you on your way. Su Chen packed away all the items, and before leaving cast a sinister grin at Lin Yan. Returning to the secret chamber, Su Chen wasted no time. He first retrieved Lin Yan's storage ring to inspect its contents. Well, it was all junk. Su Chen felt somewhat disinterested. Shouldn't these destined protagonists be endlessly encountering opportunities, stumbling upon treasures, even while walking the streets? How could he be so impoverished? In truth, it was only natural for Su Chen to think this way. As the heir of the imperial clan, his starting point was terrifyingly high. As for legacies like quasi-emperor inheritances or supreme techniques, he could freely browse the Su family's treasury whenever he wished. Meanwhile, these destined protagonists were still in their developmental stages. Let alone quasi-emperor inheritances or supreme techniques, even items at the nirvana or great power level were considered treasures to them. It could only be said that different statuses led to different perspectives. What Su Chen deemed trash was for others a rare and precious find. My. Suddenly Su Chen noticed an item within Lin Yan's storage ring that piqued his interest. It was a dark gray seal engraved with dragon patterns. This thing is rather intriguing. As he spoke, Su Chen picked it up, sensing a faint trace of a supreme aura emanating from the dragon pattern seal. Whoosh! He attempted to infuse it with a strand of magical power, and in the next moment a terrifying suction force erupted greedily, drawing the mana. Su Chen furrowed his brow slightly, but did not immediately release it. He had a feeling that after absorbing his mana, the dragon pattern seal would undergo some remarkable transformation. Indeed, as the mana was continuously absorbed, the originally dark gray seal began to reveal specks of golden light. The radiance grew increasingly intense, eventually illuminating the entire chamber. Subsequently, countless runes suddenly emerged from the seal, projecting outward. These runes were exceedingly peculiar, resembling neither existing scripts nor the runes of the Tao. These are writings from the Forbidden Era. Su Chen was slightly startled, recognizing the origin of these runes. He quickly deciphered the meaning conveyed by these characters. After a brief glance, Su Chen couldn't help but take a deep breath, a hint of joy spreading across his face. I've struck gold. The dragon pattern seal contained it was the cultivation insights of a supreme expert from the Forbidden Era regarding the Bitter Sea realm. Moreover, this supreme had deduced a method to potentially break the limits of this very realm. Extremely precious. This dragon pattern seal had been casually acquired by Lin Yan from a street stall. He had attempted to activate it, but was unable to comprehend the Forbidden Era script. In the end, it was left to gather dust, now falling into Su Chen's hands. After a quick scan, Su Chen learned that according to the Supreme's deductions, the Bitter Sea realm was the most crucial major stage on the path of cultivation, even influencing the possibility of becoming an emperor. The Bitter Sea had 9 stages. Each breakthrough in a minor realm would condense a Tao fruit body. In the Supreme's deduction, if one could gather a massive amount of primordial power to form a 10th Tao fruit body, that Boda's strength could be used to forcibly shatter the limits of the Bitter Sea realm. However, this process, though simple in description, was fraught with difficulty. Even the Supreme who deduced this method had failed to achieve it in his time. 9 represented the pinnacle of the world. To condense a 10th primordial Tao fruit body required an unimaginably vast amount of primordial power. Moreover, the Bitter Sea itself had to be sufficiently vast and resilient, otherwise it could not bear the weight of this 10th primordial Tao fruit body. Beyond that, condensing the 10th primordial Tao fruit body came with numerous other restrictions, each as daunting as ascending to heaven. Phew! What an unexpected delight! Su Chen took a deep breath, a smile of joy gracing his face. The Bitter Sea realm held immense significance. Breaking its limits would yield benefits beyond imagination. Previously, Su Chen had been pondering methods to break the limits in his mind, but had found no leads. After reviewing the Supreme's deductions on the Bitter Sea realm, a fledgling idea began to take shape in his mind. It could be said that this cultivation insight into the Bitter Sea realm was of monumental importance to him, its value rivaling even an emperor-level inheritance. He carefully stored away the dragon pattern seal. As for the other items in Lin Yan's storage ring, he couldn't be bothered to give them a second glance. After completing this, he retrieved the clay jars containing Lin Yan's 4 strands of strange fire. With a sharp crack, Su Chen shattered them without hesitation. The 4 strands of strange fire were exposed to the air, causing the temperature in the chamber to skyrocket. Had Su Chen not set up a protective array beforehand, the entire chamber would have melted to slag the instant these 4 fires appeared. According to the original novel, to open the incomplete Emperor's legacy within the ancient Emperor city, the key is to use strange fire as a medium. Moreover, the quality of the strange fire used as a medium cannot be low. At the very least, it must rank among the top 10 on the strange fire list. As he spoke, a smile curled at the corners of Su Chen's mouth. In the original novel, Lin Yan, the destined protagonist, only managed to open that incomplete Emperor's legacy midway through the plot. Su Chen, however, lacked the patience to wait that long and was too lazy to search for strange fires, because right before his eyes there were ready-made ones. He raised his hand in a summoning gesture, and the 4 strands of strange fire floating in midair converged toward merge. Su Chen uttered softly, directly employing immense magical power to forcibly fuse the 4 strands of strange fire together. Among these 4 fires, the highest ranked was the bone-chilling cold flame at number 14, which was far from sufficient to open the incomplete Emperor's legacy. However, by forcibly merging these 4 fires into a new singular strange fire, it would be just enough. This method bore a resemblance to Lin Yan's strange fire lotus, but with a key difference: Su Chen's fusion approach was far more straightforward and brutal. He gave no consideration to the conflicting natures of the 4 fires, instead using immense magical power to forcibly merge them. This method of fusion was extremely dangerous. It could even cause the 4 fires to collapse shortly after merging. Yet Su Chen was utterly unconcerned. In his eyes, strange fire was ultimately a minor art. True strength lay within oneself. In Gudi City, within the city lord's mansion in a secret chamber, the searing heat made the surrounding air viscous and thick. For exotic flames twisted and intertwined before Su Chen's eyes. Born from the very fabric of heaven and earth, exotic flames are ferociously wild, containing terrifying power. They hardly ever fuse with one another but nothing is absolute. Under Su Chen's forceful suppression, the four flames of disparate forms began to slowly meld together, evolving into the nascent outline of a wholly new exotic flame. Their violent energies collided, an indication that these four flames did not rank high on the exotic flame list. Otherwise, Su Chen, with his present strength, could never have forced them to merge. Solidify! Su Chen suddenly shouted. Rich currents of primordial force surged forth from the golden sea of bitterness, carrying the faint roar of the four disparate flames accelerated their fusion. Boom! Their mutual repulsion erupted into an appalling outburst of power. The fledgling form of the new flame, which had only just appeared, now showed signs of collapsing. Fortunately, Su Chen's strength was vast. A continuous stream of primordial force flowed from the golden sea of bitterness. Even the three golden figures that embodied Su Chen's Tao fruit suddenly surged forth to assist in the suppression. Gradually, the raging energies began. After an indeterminate span, the space convulsed violently. The barely formed exotic flame at last assumed complete shape. A black brand new exotic flame appeared before Su Chen. It radiated blistering heat as if to burn the void, yet wherever it passed, it left behind trails of black frost and uncanny cold. Moreover, the flame's form kept shifting. Phantoms of countless beasts rose and fell in succession, lending it an utterly wondrous aspect. Su Chen exhaled softly. At last it is done. He drew a long breath and carefully sealed the new exotic flame into a vessel he had prepared in advance. Only when the seal was complete did he finally relax. Though the new flame had formed and its power was astonishing, inheriting the advantages of the original four, it remained extremely unstable, liable to collapse at any moment. To use it in combat was out of the question. The slightest fluctuation would shatter its balance and cause it to detonate instantly. It would likely explode and kill its user before it could fell an enemy. Still, this was sufficient. To Su Chen, the exotic flame would merely serve as a key. Once he opened that incomplete Great Emperor inheritance, the flame would no longer be of use to him. With that thought, Su Chen wasted no time. He transmitted a spiritual summons to call Su Jiao. The site of the broken Great Emperor legacy was not absolutely safe. A sane-trank exotic beast. Su Jiao's figure appeared behind Su Chen in an instant. He asked no questions, merely following firmly at Su Chen's back. In his eyes, whatever the imperial son intended required no inquiry. He needed only to steadfastly trail behind him and be the spear in his hand. Su Chen took the lead, Su Jiao beside him, and they walked deeper into Gudi City. After a short while, they arrived before a dark towering spire. The tower rose 10,000 meters, its summit piercing the clouds, so its end could not be seen, and it exuded a wave of blistering heat. Standing before it, one felt not a mere tower, but an ancient flame colossus. The tower was called Nyepan Tower. It shared a common origin with Gudi City and had existed for countless eons. Its origins were unknown. It was said that cultivating within could refine magical power, temper the spirit, and hasten the recovery of wounds. On ordinary days, cultivators came and went in endless procession. Anyone could enter by paying 100 spirit stones. Yet at this moment, Nyepan Tower was empty. Su Chen had already arranged a summons and had Zhou Ming clear the area. This is the place, Su Chen said with a wry smile as he surveyed the tower. He stepped forward and pushed the heavy door open. Su Jiao followed close behind. From the outside, Nyepan Tower seemed 10,000 meters tall, but within it contained only 13 tiers. The higher the floor, the stronger the effects. But Su Chen did not head for the top. He walked to the far end of the first floor where a hidden door lay. A great sage-level ceiling formation guarded it, yet with Su Jiao present, the array posed no problem. Su Jiao swept out a palm and broke the formation. A dark passage opened before them. Su Chen entered first. The shadowed corridor was long to the point of being unnerving. Even with Su Jiao as a half-step quasi-emperor, it took the two of them a full half-hour to reach it. Su Jiao swept out a palm and broke the formation. A dark passage opened before them. Su Chen entered first. The lava was fearsome in its intensity. Even great power cultivators would be seared to ash in moments if they entered it. Yet that was not the most terrifying sight. More dreadful still, atop the magma lay a fired Qilin beast, its presence radiating strands of saintly might. At the sight of Su Chen and Su Jiao, the flaming Qilin woke with a start. Its cold golden pupils fixed upon them as it issued low rumbling roars. This is the place, Su Chen said, ignoring the Qilin snarls as he scanned the surroundings and smiled faintly. He gave a slight nod to Su Jiao. Su Jiao understood instantly and charged forth with a laugh. Your Highness the Imperial Son, in my opinion, this exotic beast would make a most suitable steed for you. Though not a pure-blooded Qilin, its Qilin bloodline ran deep. Among heavenly rank exotic beasts, it stood among the very best, its strength was formidable. The Qilin let out an enraged roar as Su Jiu barreled forward. But in the next moment, the aura of a half-step quasi-emperor erupted. Su Jiu unleashed a punch, thousands of Dao runes flowed forth and condensed into a colossal earth-shattering seal that crushed down upon the Qilin. In an instant, the Qilin was flung backward, slamming hard into a nearby rock wall. Cracks raced across its body as Qilin blood seeped from its wounds. Beneath a quasi-emperor, all are but ants. This was no empty boast. A saint-rank Qilin beast. A mere plaything. Wretched beast died. With the strike landed, Su Jiu gave a low snarl and waved his hand. It became a black jailer that bound and restrained the exotic Qilin. He quickly condensed a black seed and planted it into the beast. The seed was called the Tian Nu seal. Once embedded, it bound the recipient to eternal servitude under its caster. The Qilin thrashed wildly, striving to break free or even to self-detonate. As a top-tier heavenly feral, it possessed fierce pride, better to implode than endure the fate of enslavement. Yet in the hands of the half-step quasi-emperor Su Jiu, even self-destruction became a forlorn hope. It struggled in vain and could only watch as the Tian Nu seal took root within its body. In the next moment, the mark's effects erupted. The exotic Qilin was utterly controlled and could no longer resist. The terror of the Tian Nu seal lay in its ability not only to command the body, but to seize both body and mind. Your Highness the Prince, this fire Qilin beast can serve as your mount. After successfully subduing the fire Qilin, Su Jiu smiled and returned to Su Chen's side, handing over the master seal of the Heaven Slave seal. Not bad. Su Chen smiled, faintly nodded with satisfaction, and took the master seal from Su Jiu, integrating it into his body. Then he leaped and mounted the fire Qilin beast. A mount of the sage level. Few across the entire Nine Heavens realm possessed such a treasure. Moreover, the bloodline of this fire Qilin was exceptionally formidable, capable of contending with prodigies and geniuses of the same rank. Roar! The fire Qilin beast let out a low growl, and under Su Chen's control, charged rapidly toward the magma below. Su Jiu immediately followed. With a splash, the magma splattered. Under Su Jiu's protection, the magma that could incinerate even mighty cultivators could not approach Su Chen's body. Su Chen sat atop the fire Qilin beast, advancing all the way until he reached the bottom of the magma. Before his eyes stood an ancient and mysterious bronze. The bronze door was not enormous, yet the aura it emitted faintly contained a trace of the Tao of an emperor, inspiring an involuntary shiver of awe. Moreover, upon the bronze door were carved the phantom shadows of myriad creatures. Above them, a true phoenix soared across the sky, surrounded by countless. We have arrived. The place of the incomplete emperor's inheritance. Su Chen's eyes flickered as he took out the clay pot sealed with the anomalous fire. With a slight exertion of force, a crisp sound rang out as the clay pot shattered, revealing the new anomalous fire, fused by Su Chen, now manifest. Open! Su Chen struck out with his palm, sending the anomalous fire hurtling toward the mysterious and ancient bronze door. Boom! The moment the black anomalous fire touched the bronze door, a terrifying fluctuation erupted. Then the door that had stood for countless epochs began to tremble, slowly, gradually opening a crack. As the bronze door fully opened, a primal aura, as if from an ancient era, surged forth from behind it, evoking the sensation of stepping into a barbaric. As the bronze door fully opened, a primal aura, as if from an ancient era, surged forth from behind it, evoking the sensation of stepping into a barbaric age. Vortex. Su Jiu immediately followed. As they stepped into the vortex, the void flickered and their surroundings blurred. When everything stabilized, they found themselves on a barren. Around them lay the corpses of countless creatures, the smallest measuring tens of thousands of meters. Each corpse was astonishing, exuding a heart-shaking aura. At the end of the land stood an ancient altar, its surface fiery red, as if bathed in blood. The altar radiated a primordial aura spreading through the surroundings. Before the altar lay a vast plaza. On both sides of the plaza stood numerous 1,000-foot stone pillars atop, which various forms of anomalous fire danced and burned, presenting a magnificent spectacle. Su Chen, still riding the fire Qilin beast, landed on the plaza. Your Highness, this plaza of anomalous fire seems to be a very ancient inheritance, Su Jiu commented with some surprise. Su Chen nodded indifferently. This plaza of anomalous fire was indeed a powerful quasi-emperor inheritance. According to the original novel, the destined protagonist Lin Yin, during the middle of the plot, faced a bottleneck in his cultivation because most of his early breakthroughs relied on pills. It was only through this plaza of anomalous fire that he broke through the bottleneck and achieved the quasi-emperor realm. However, for Su Chen, this plaza was utterly useless. His foundation was unparalleled, his talent extraordinary. He simply had no bottlenecks. But though he had no use for it, that did not mean Su Jiu could not be. After all, during the taboo era, Su Jiu was a personal guard of the great emperor, following the emperor's footsteps to campaign across the heavens, suppress the foreign realms, pacify the forbidden zones, and quell the darkness. The countless battles he endured left him riddled with internal injuries, ultimately halting his cultivation at the half-step quasi-emperor realm. Indeed, Sujio's talent was not low. Even in the taboo era when numerous kings rose, he could be counted among the strongest prodigies. He had once contended with geniuses from myriad realms on the starry ancient road, vying for the position of great emperor. But later he was captivated by Su Tianqing and chose to follow him. Thinking this, Su Chen said, "Sujiu, the plaza of anomalous fire is of great use to you. It can help resolve your internal injuries and break through to the quasi-emperor realm." Sujio was momentarily stunned, then an uncontrollable excitement spread across his face. As a former top-tier genius, how could he be content to stagnate? After a moment, he knelt abruptly before Su Chen's back. "Thank you, Your Highness the Prince." Su Chen nodded casually and walked slowly toward the altar at the end of the plaza. Sujio sat cross-legged in the center of the plaza, beginning to absorb the power of the anomalous fire. Like Su Chen, he did not choose to accept the plaza's inheritance, but instead absorbed its energy to heal his internal injuries and break through his realm. Su Chen glanced at Sujio, and seeing no issues, he strode directly to the top of the altar. There a stone platform stood. On the stone platform rested 2 treasure boxes. Su Chen stepped forward and picked them up. Opening the first box, he revealed a yellowish-brown pill the size of a dragon's eye. The pill appeared ordinary at first glance. If placed by the roadside, most would mistake it for a mud ball. However, Su Chen knew that this pill was far from ordinary. On the contrary, its origin was astonishing. It was the companion pill of the legendary 9 Revolutions Immortal Pill. The 9 Revolutions Immortal Pill was a supreme divine pill that could extend the peak emperor lifespan of a great emperor for a whole era. Throughout all history, only a handful had ever been found. As the companion pill of the 9 Revolutions Immortal Pill, this yellowish-brown pill, though not as potent, contained immense medicinal power that could greatly benefit even a supreme being. "With this pill I have enough primordial essence to condense the 10th bitter sea Tao fruit body." Su Chen murmured softly, a smile curling at the corners of his. The 10th bitter sea Tao fruit body required an astonishing amount of primordial essence. Even the supreme being who pioneered this method had failed to achieve. But with this companion pill of the 9 Revolutions Immortal Pill, Su Chen no longer had to worry about exhausting primordial essence. He could confidently condense the 10th bitter sea Tao fruit body and break the extreme limit of the bitter sea. Truly a legacy of the emperor level. Even if incomplete, it contains such a supreme elixir as the 9 Revolutions Immortal Pill's companion pill. Murmuring softly, a hint of a smile curled at the corners of Su Chen's lips. He couldn't help but feel anticipation for the contents of the second treasure box. Putting away the companion pill of the 9 Revolutions Immortal Pill, Su Chen raised his hand and opened the second treasure box on the platform. With a soft click, the lid of the box sprang open. A palm-sized crimson scroll appeared before Su Chen. This scroll was extraordinary, emanating a faint vitality. Though faint, this vitality was extremely tenacious. As the box was opened, the vitality spread out and evolved into a crimson true phoenix dancing gracefully in the air. Could this be? Su Chen was greatly startled, recalling the carvings on the bronze door and the image manifested by the scroll's vitality. He had already vaguely guessed what this scroll was. Without hesitation, he picked up the scroll and opened it, revealing dense bone scripts before his eyes. These bone scripts seemed to possess life consciousness. As soon as they were opened, they soared into the sky, constantly evolving and intertwining in the void, finally forming a fiery red egg that rushed into Su Chen's mind. Su Chen felt his sea of consciousness expand, his mind dazed. At that moment, he seemed to return to the primeval era, becoming a true phoenix, mastering the power of nirvana, perched upon the Jinmu tree, soaring beneath the 9 heavens. After a moment, the dazed feeling faded, and Su Chen came to his senses, slowly opening his eyes. "Who? Indeed, as I guessed, this scroll records the true phoenix art." As he spoke, Su Chen's heart surged with ecstasy. The true phoenix, also known as the phoenix, is one of the 10 ferocious creatures, on par with the true dragon, the progenitor of all birds, and one of the most powerful beings in the world. The true phoenix art is precisely the phoenix's innate divine ability, a true forbidden art with unfathomable power. However, unfortunately, the true phoenix art recorded in this scroll seemed to be missing a part. You must know that the phoenix, as a 10 ferocious level creature, not only masters the power of nirvana. Even if its true spirit is shattered, it can be reborn through nirvana and become even stronger. Moreover, it possesses extremely powerful offensive and killing force capable of suppressing all beings. However, the inheritance Su Chen received from this scroll only contained the records of the nirvana power of the true phoenix art, lacking the corresponding offensive methods. Fortunately, the scroll recorded the coordinates of the other part of the true phoenix art, offering hope to complete it. The only pity is that the coordinates are located in the 3,000 immortal realms. Currently, the 3,000 immortal realms have not yet officially opened. Although it's only an incomplete true Phoenix art, it's still good. At least the part about Nirvana power is complete. As he spoke, Chen took out a sacred grade divine sword. After a moment's thought, he stabbed it into his thigh. Golden holy blood splattered, and a sharp pain shot through him, yet Chen's expression remained unchanged. The next moment, he decisively activated the true Phoenix art. As the true Phoenix art was activated, a mysterious Nirvana power suddenly appeared on the wound. In the blink of an eye, the wound left by the sacred grade divine sword healed completely, leaving not even a scar. Not bad. The Nirvana power is truly worthy of being called the most mysterious power in the world. Even with only preliminary mastery, its healing ability is astonishingly strong. If one could fully master this power, immortality and indestructibility are not just empty words. Even if the true spirit perishes, one can be reborn through Nirvana. Moreover, besides its powerful healing ability, this Nirvana power can also allow one to undergo Nirvana transformation and be reborn from the flames. Murmuring softly, Chen nodded with satisfaction. Undoubtedly, he had mastered another supreme, forbidden means. Roar! Just then a low growl sounded. The sound came from the strange fire square. Chen turned to look and saw Su sitting cross-legged on the square, enveloped by a grayish flame that continuously burned. At the same time, streams of mysterious power imbued with rich Nirvana force surged into his body. After obtaining the incomplete true Phoenix art, Chen recognized at a glance that the flame enveloping Su contained a portion of the true Phoenix's original divine fire. Although it was only a small cluster, the Nirvana power contained within it was also astonishing. As the Nirvana power entered, Su's originally hunched figure began to straighten. His aged face gradually became youthful, and his graying hair regained. At the same time, an extremely terrifying aura emanated from his body. This was the might of a quasi-emperor. Originally, with Su's talent, he should have already stepped into the quasi-emperor realm. But due to internal injuries, he had never broken through. Now, with all his injuries healed, and after years of accumulation, Su's soared directly, breaking through from half-step quasi-emperor to the quasi-emperor realm. Moreover, after countless eons, his accumulation was indeed too abundant. After breaking through to the quasi-emperor realm, his momentum did not stop, but continued to surge forward. Quasi-emperor, first heaven. Quasi-emperor, second heaven. Quasi-emperor, third heaven. Up to quasi-emperor, seventh heaven. Only then did Su's aura gradually stabilize. Thank you, Imperial Prince. Unbeknownst, Su, having completed his breakthrough, had come behind Chen, his face full of reverence, and his appearance had reverted from the vigorous young man back. Excellent. Breaking through 7 minor realms, at once reaching quasi-emperor, 7th heaven. Chen was very satisfied. The 300 veterans led by Su were truly a force that belonged only to him. No matter what he did or what requests he made, they would never refuse. I must still thank the Imperial Prince. If not for the true Phoenix's original divine fire that burned away all my internal injuries, I would probably be stuck at the half-step quasi-emperor realm for the rest of my life. Su couldn't help but sigh. After the breakthrough, his entire being had undergone earth-shaking changes, and he even became more talkative. To this, Chen just smiled. With such a quasi-emperor 7th heaven powerhouse as his guard, as long as he didn't seek death by venturing into the forbidden zones, there were few in the current 9 heavens realm who could contend with him. Next, I just wait for Lin Patian to come with his people. As he spoke, a sharp glint flashed in Chen's eyes. He was very much looking forward to seeing the expression on Lin Potion's face when he came to rescue Lin Yin and saw Su, a quasi-emperor 7th heaven existence. On the other side, in the border town where the Flame Clan resided. Since the ancient era, the Flame Clan had gradually declined, with each generation of its youth growing weaker than the last. The once bustling courtyard had become desolate. The families and forces that had once been close allies grew distant, and even the other 7 clans of the Ancient 8 began to show reluctance in engaging with them. Some even proposed expelling the Flame Clan from the Ancient 8. Had it not been for the 3 patriarchs still alive within the Flame Clan, they would have long been removed from the Ancient 8. Yet today, the fallen Flame Clan had suddenly become lively once more. Massive warships traversed through the void, emerging into the sky. These ships were filled with black-armored soldiers holding long spears and halberds. Any one of these soldiers could be considered a top-tier expert in this border town. The townspeople witnessing this sight widened their eyes in disbelief. They could hardly imagine that the once destitute Flame Clan possessed such formidable power. At that moment in this border town, all the families and forces that had been hostile to the Flame Clan trembled in fear. Meanwhile, within the Flame Clan, all the clan leaders of the Ancient 8 were gathered together, a rare occurrence. Lin Potion, why have you summoned us using the Supreme Token? What is the matter? Could it be that your Flame Clan is truly on the verge of collapse? Feng Wuji, the leader of the Wind Clan, sneered. The others from the remaining 6 clans also wore amused smiles. The supreme tokens of the ancient 8 clans were divided into 8 pieces, each held by a clan leader, and could only be used in critical moments. My son Lin Yin has been imprisoned by a prodigy from the Imperial Su clan. I have gathered you all to seek your aid in rescuing Yin. Lin Patian stated directly. Those present were all far superior to him in both cultivation and seniority. Ordinarily, he would have felt a surge of fear, but at this moment, he remained remarkably calm. All because the ancient patriarch of his flame clan was still alive, possessing strength at the half-step supreme level capable of looking down upon all others. Hell, listen to yourself. You want us to help you rescue your son from the Imperial Su clan. How can you even say such a thing? Lei Yin, the leader of the Thunder clan, sneered with disdain. He had heard of the events in the ancient Emperor city. Your son Lin Potion provoked someone he shouldn't have and was beaten like a dog. Now you want us to join forces against the Su clan. Dream on. With that, Lei Yun stood up coldly, ready to leave. My apologies, but I have matters to attend to and must take my leave. The leader of the Rain clan also rose with a smile, preparing to depart, and the others followed suit. Among those present, every clan leader was a shrewd and to fight the Imperial Su clan for a declining flame clan. Don't be ridiculous. It was utterly impossible. Lin Patian watched as they prepared to leave, showing no sign of urgency. Instead, a faint smile curled at the corner of his mouth as he picked up his tea and drank leisurely. Everyone, are you in such a hurry to leave my flame clan? Just then the council hall's doors suddenly closed on their own and a soft laugh echoed. 3 figures materialized before them, unmistakably Lin Kuan and 2 others. It's you. The 7 clan leaders were startled by their sudden appearance, but they quickly regained their composure. So it's you 3 old monsters. I didn't expect you to still be alive after all these years. But I must say you 3 have remarkable patience. With you 3 and Lin Potion, that's 4 saints in total, a formidable force. Yet you're content to remain in this borderland. Feng Wuji taunted, showing no regard for the trio. Though initially startled, the others soon regained their indifferent expressions. Then they turned to leave once more. Oomph. Suddenly a cold snort echoed soft, yet striking their ears like a thunderous bell. A faint supreme pressure bore down on them. Beneath the supreme, all were mere ants. This was no empty saying. In an instant, the 7 clan leaders' bodies trembled, uncontrollably collapsing to the ground, with faces full of terror. This is supreme pressure. Who is it? As they trembled in shock, the closed doors of the council hall swung open. An old man appeared before them silently. The elder wore a crimson robe with white hair and a face covered in wrinkles. Yet strangely, despite his aged appearance, his vitality was extraordinarily vibrant, like that of a youth. This was none other than the 3rd-generation ancient patriarch of the Flame clan, Lin Lan. You're Lin Lan. Someone recognized him and couldn't help but exclaim. Weren't you supposed to be dead? How? The others stared at Lin Lan in disbelief, their eyes wide, afraid they were mistaken. Dead. I control my own fate, not the heavens. As long as I wish to live, who in this world can make me die? Lin Lan declared with overbearing. A heavy silence fell over the crowd. Everyone, let me speak plainly today. The ancient 8 clans are originally one body, sharing the same roots. Now I intend to unite the power of all 8 clans to rescue the prodigy of my Flame clan. Who agrees? Who opposes? With that, Lin Lan leaned forward, glaring fiercely at the assembly. The air in the hall grew tense. After a moment, Feng Wuji broke the silence. My Wind clan can act, but the Su clan is an imperial clan. Even with the combined strength of our 8 clan, the words imperial clan were too weighty. Before he could finish, Lin Lan interrupted him. So what if the Su clan is an imperial clan? The age of taboos has passed. Their great emperor has long fallen. Now that I am a supreme, why should I fear their imperial clan? Lin Lan's face radiated dominance as he spoke with unwavering conviction. Moreover, the 9 Heavens realm is not under the Su clan's sole rule. There are those who can oppose them. I have already reached an alliance with the ancient Divine Mountain. This time our 8 clans need only kill that young prodigy with double pupils from the Su clan. As for the rest of the Su clan, the forces of the ancient Divine Mountain will intervene to hold them back. At this, Lin Lan fixed his gaze on the others. I will join. I will join too. Moments later, under Lin Lan's coercion, all 7 clans agreed. Lin Potion, watching this unfold, couldn't suppress a smile. That brat from the Su clan. Remember how you insulted me and Yan? Tomorrow I will repay you 100-fold, 1,000-fold. The Su clan. An imperial clan. So what? Within the ancient emperor city, Su Chen, clad in white robes, sat calmly upon the fiery Qilin beast. Behind him, Su Jiu silently followed as they both emerged from the Nirvana Tower. This time his gains were nothing short of extraordinary: the 9 Revolutions Immortal Pill, and its accompanying elixir, the incomplete True Phoenix Divine Art, and Su Jiu's ascension to the Quasi-Emperor's 7th heaven. First he'll go to the Trial Divine Steel to check in. Having spent considerable time in the Nirvana Tower, tomorrow was the moment to reap the harvest. Before that, Su Chun decided to complete the systems check-in first. The trial divine steel stood at the very center of the ancient emperor city. Chen, seated upon the fiery Qilin beast, headed straight there. As a saint-level celestial beast with rich Qilin bloodline, the fiery Qilin was formidable. Along the way, everyone couldn't help but cast curious glances. Such a handsome youth. What breed is that mount beneath him? It seems somewhat akin to the To possess such a mount, this youth's background must be astonishing. The crowd stared at the fiery Qilin, unable to refrain from discussion. Meanwhile, some maidens gazed at Chen's silhouette with infatuation. Handsome, with a powerful background and peerless talent, such a youth was undeniably, though he was still young, the thought of a cultivation partner to nurture was even more thrilling. Wait, look at his pupils. It's him, the double-pupiled one. Damn, it really is double pupils. No wonder he can possess such a mighty beast as a mount. Someone suddenly recognized Chen and couldn't help but exclaim. It was inevitable. His halo of brilliance was simply too dazzling. The double-pupiled one. A prodigy of the imperial Su clan, flowing with imperial blood in his veins. Possessing either of these identities would already mark one as unmatched in talent. Yet here they were combined in a single person. To put it simply, Chen couldn't remain low-key, even if he tried. Of course, what the crowd didn't know was that besides the double pupils and imperial blood, Chen also possessed the supreme bone and the innate saintly body Tao fetus. If this news were to spread, it would likely shake the entire Nine Heavens realm, and even the slumbering forbidden beings might awaken. Under the gaze of the crowd, Chen, with a calm expression, soon arrived at the location of the trial divine steel. As a medium to enter the 3,000 immortal realms, the trial divine steel consisted of 3,000 steels scattered across the Nine Heavens realm. By inscribing one's name on any trial divine steel, one could gain the qualification to enter the 3,000 immortal realms. Each steel could accommodate the names of 10,000 individuals. When Chen arrived, a considerable number of people had already gathered around the trial divine steel, all prodigies attempting to leave their mark upon it. Chen paid no heed to the crowd and looked up, seeing a massive stone stele towering among the people. The stele, fully 10,000 meters tall and pitch-black, bore countless marks of blades and axes, appearing ancient and mysterious. Upon its surface, countless names were densely carved. Chen took a rough glance and saw that the top position was held by a prodigy named Yumingzi. He hailed from the nether realm, a being born from the true spirit of a corpse, possessing the unprecedented netherworld body, which ranked among the top 300 of the 3,000 great physiques. Truly astonishing. Moreover, according to rumors, the corpse from which Yumingzi's true spirit was born had an origin of immense significance. It was the body of a peerless genius from the Forbidden Era who had once shone brilliantly in the Imperial Road competition, even clashing with the young War Emperor Su. Though he ultimately failed and perished, his obsession remained unextinguished, and in this era a true spirit was born from the corpse, vowing to tread the Imperial Road once more and compete for supremacy. Look, the True Moon Fairy from the True Moon sect has arrived. Suddenly a cry rose from the crowd, and everyone looked up. A young woman stepping on a flying sword approached with a white veil over her face. Though her features were hidden, her graceful figure and aura revealed her. It's truly the True Moon Fairy. I never expected her to come as well. It is said that the True Moon Fairy is the most outstanding disciple of the True Moon sect in this generation. Not only does she possess the heavenly fragrance body, but she also has a naturally clear sword heart. At a young age, she has already reached the peak of the Bitter Sea realm. Truly remarkable. Besides her strength, the True Moon Fairy's beauty is absolutely stunning. She ranks among the top 20 in the beauty list. Someone said with an infatuated expression. Chen was also slightly surprised. In the Nine Heavens realm there existed an ancient entity called the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion, whose origins were unknown. All that was known was that the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion had existed since the Forbidden Era, with influence spanning the entire Nine Heavens realm and even reaching other. Yet despite being such an ancient force, it had always remained low-key, rarely engaging in conflicts. The beauty list that people spoke of was a ranking released by the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion based on the appearance of female cultivators, listing 100 names and holding great authority. For the True Moon Fairy to rank among the top 20 on the beauty list was a testament to her extraordinary beauty. Besides the beauty list, there were various other rankings: the prodigy list and the battle power list. The prodigy list targeted the younger generation of prodigies. The battle power list, meanwhile, was divided based on cultivation realms, comprising 13 sublists ranging from the blood coagulation realm to the supreme realm. It was worth noting that with the exposure of Chen's identity as the double-pupiled one, he had ascended the prodigy list, ranking 10th. Those ranked above him were almost all ancient anomalies, having won the competition in the 3,000 immortal realms multiple times. Among them were beings like the Three-Crown King and the Five-Crown King. As Chen was lost in thought, the True Moon Fairy passed through the crowd and arrived before the trial divine steel. She raised her hand, condensing a sword of magical power, and with a low cry slashed fiercely at the trial divine steel. Fierce sword energy surged forth, autonomously evolving into a crescent moon in the void, then struck the Trial Divine Steel with force. A booming sound erupted, and the next moment the Trial Divine Steel blazed with golden light. The True Moon Fairy's name ascended the rankings, claiming the 125th position, a fairly high rank. Impressive. The True Moon Fairy lives up to her reputation, not only with stunning looks, but also with formidable combat power. Rank 125 is surely that of a top-tier prodigy. Moreover, there is still time before the 3,000 immortal realms open. With the True Moon Fairy's talent, she might even break into the top 100, or even the top 50 in the future. Beauty and strength combined. The crowd buzzed with discussion, and some with sycophantic tendencies were ready to elevate the True Moon Fairy to the heavens. As for the True Moon Fairy herself, a trace of disappointment flickered in her eyes. From her expression, she seemed far from satisfied with this ranking. I wonder what rank I can achieve now. Chen murmured softly, then urged the fiery Qilin beast forward. As he appeared, the eyes of everyone present instantly focused on him. It's him, the one with the double pupils. The moment they saw Chen, everyone couldn't help but gasp in awe. No other reason. Just the two words, double pupils, were enough to shake the world. Moreover, the possessor of the double pupils hailed from the current imperial clan, with imperial blood flowing through his veins. I wonder how far the double pupil bearer can advance on the Trial Divine Steel. I reckon he can break into the top 10. The double pupils part the heavens. Since ancient times there has been no record of defeat. Throughout history, none who possessed the double pupils were weak, and he also comes from the imperial clan, carrying imperial blood within. Not necessarily. This generation's double pupil bearer is too young, not yet fully matured. The crowd buzzed with discussion, privately speculating on Chen's possible ranking on the Trial Divine Steel. Even the True Moon Fairy, who was about to leave, paused upon seeing Chen's figure and stood by to gaze. The crowd parted, automatically forming a path. Chen, dressed in white robes, rode atop the fire Qilin beast, exuding an ethereal and otherworldly aura. Especially despite his youth, he carried a majestic presence, transcendent and aloof, like a celestial king on a divine tour. Many female cultivators gazed at Chen's back, their eyes filled with infatuation. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Chen slowly approached the Trial Divine Steel. He did not attempt it immediately, but stopped before the Trial Divine Steel and opened the system. Ding dong, the host has arrived at the check-in location, Ancient Emperor City, at the Trial Divine Steel. Do you wish to check in now? Yes or no? Yes. Chen made his choice silently in his mind. The next moment, a series of mechanical synthesized voices echoed. Ding dong, check-in successful. Location, Ancient Emperor City, Trial Divine Steel. Congratulations, host. You have received the reward Destiny Villain Points, 3000. Congratulations, host. You have received the reward Dragon Pattern Black Gold. Congratulations, host. You have received the reward Indestructible War. Good heavens. Listening to the system prompts in his mind, Chen couldn't help but gasp. This check-in reward was far too generous. Dragon Pattern Black Gold was a peerless, immortal material naturally formed by heaven and earth, inherently bearing mysterious dragon patterns. It was a supreme immortal metal, the exclusive material for emperor-level powerhouses, and an essential component for forging imperial weapons. For instance, the War Immortal Emperor banner of the Su family had its pole forged from Dragon Pattern Black Gold. A mere grain of sand-sized piece of such extreme immortal gold would drive the world into a frenzy. But the Dragon Pattern Black Gold rewarded by the system this time was the size of half a football. If it were taken out, everyone would go mad, including the slumbering taboo beings who would be awakened and rush to snatch it. With that thought, Chen took a deep breath, forcibly suppressing his excitement. As for the second item rewarded by the check-in, the Indestructible War Armor, it was a very special ancient secret treasure. Not only was its defensive power astonishing, but as long as the wearer's cultivation level was below the great ability realm, donning this armor would temporarily elevate their cultivation by one major realm. For example, Chen's current cultivation was at the 3rd level of the Bitter Sea realm. But if he wore the Indestructible War Armor, it could directly elevate him to the 3rd level of the Orifice Opening realm. Truly astonishing. This time I've struck it rich. Murmuring softly, a smile curled at the corner of Chen's lips. He turned to look at the Trial Divine Steel beside him and walked straight up to it. The next moment, he let out a low shout, his Bitter Sea glowing as countless golden primal powers surged forth, and he threw a punch at the Trial Divine Steel. Boom! In an instant, the void trembled and countless Tao runes evolved, interweaving into flowers of the Tao that bloomed around Chen, appearing sacred and pure. And Chen, already transcendent, now seemed even more ethereal and otherworldly against the backdrop of these Tao flowers, like a banished immortal untouched by worldly affairs, with a faint overlooking dominance over the universe. One thought: flowers bloom, the sovereign descends. With the punch thrown, countless flowers of the Tao followed, striking the trial divine steel. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Instantly, a violent explosion sounded, the void trembling faintly, and the trial divine steel began to shake violently. Everyone around watched with bated breath. The next moment, something shocking occurred. On the 10th Sanzang tall trial divine steely, at the spot struck by Su Chen's fist, a huge crack appeared, and at the center of the crack was a clearly visible fist. Silence. The entire venue fell into absolute stillness. Everyone stared at the scene in disbelief. It was well known that the trial divine steely, as an important medium for entering the 3,000 immortal realms, was extremely miraculous. Throughout history, those who had left marks on it during testing were few and far between, each a peerless genius, a young emperor in the making. And now Su Chen had achieved it. Gulp, gulp. The silence lasted for a long time, occasionally broken by sounds of swallowing. Everyone stared incredulously at the white-robed youth in the front. As expected of the double pupil bearer, the double pupils are invincible. This saying was not just empty words. Suddenly the trial divine steel burst forth with a brilliant radiance, and a golden pillar of light shot up into the sky, piercing the clouds. Then Su Chen's name appeared at the very top of the trial divine steel, ranked first, crushing the previous top netherworld sun far beneath. Seeing this, everyone present could no longer remain calm. A tumultuous wave of discussion erupted. Is this the double pupil bearer? Isn't he too strong? This is simply absurd. With one punch he cracked the trial divine steel and left a clear fist mark. Is he on par with a young emperor? Too powerful, it makes one tremble. The Su family is extraordinary in this generation. They have produced such an invincible young prodigy destined to dominate the world and suppress an entire era. And he is still so young with astonishing potential. The crowd buzzed with discussion, their gazes at Su Chen filled with awe. Even the true moon fairy, who was off to the side, was now shocked beyond words. Behind her white veil, her exquisite lips parted slightly, utterly incredulous. Perhaps he can help me break that eternal curse. Murmuring softly, a glint of determination flashed in the true moon fairy's eyes, as if she had made up her mind about something. Meanwhile, on the other side, Su Chen looked up at his name ranked first on the 10th Sanzang steel. His face showed no joy, and his heart was as calm as still water. In his view, he deserved such an achievement. Double pupils, supreme bone, innate sacred body, Tao embryo, imperial blood. Broken through the extreme limits twice. Lectured personally by a top-tier sovereign, tempering his physical body. Top-tier divine abilities and techniques. With all these blessings, if he could not reach the pinnacle, he might as well find a block of tofu and smash his head against it. In the 9 heavens realm, within the earth realm, the boundless netherworld stretched under a dim sky shrouded in mist, with white bones scattered across the land. Eerie wails echoed through the air, sending chills down one's spine. Deep within the netherworld, in a palace built of bones, Yumingzi reclined languidly upon the bone throne, while countless undead beings prostrated themselves. Born from a corpse, his origins were astonishingly profound. He had been personally taken as a closed-door disciple by a taboo figure of the netherworld, granting him unparalleled status. My. At that moment, Yumingzi's brow furrowed slightly, a strange sensation stirring within him. What is happening? A flicker of confusion arose in his mind, yet it did not linger long before he grasped the situation. In his mind, the phantom of the trial divine steel slowly materialized. Upon it, his name, which had once stood at the top, now fell to second place. Above him, a name, Su Chen, firmly suppressed him. Someone has stolen my first place and pressed me down. Yumingzi's face darkened as a dense aura of netherworld energy erupted from him, his demonic flames blazing skyward. The countless undead beings below trembled in terror at the sight. Go and investigate the origins of this Su Chen, Yumingzi commanded in a low, brooding voice to the undead beneath him. Soon precise intelligence was delivered, for the name Su Chen was no minor matter in these times. Lord Yoming, we have found him. This Su Chen is a prodigy of the imperial Su clan bearing the heavy pupils. An undead figure shrouded in a black robe spoke with trepidation. Oh, the Su clan. Yumingzi's frown deepened, his visage growing even more somber. In his past life, this very body had fallen during a clash with Su Tianqing, the young Su clan emperor of the Forbidden Era, pierced through the skull by and now this Su Chen, a prodigy of the same clan, once again suppressed him on the trial divine steely, trampling him beneath. It seemed like an inescapable fate. Another one surnamed Su. A sharp light flickered in Yumingzi's eyes. Though he scorned fate, such coincidence was too At this thought he snorted coldly. Humph, what of the heavy pupils? What of the imperial clan? Even if it is destiny, I believe I can shatter the chains of fate and reshape the future. If we meet, I shall sever your heavy pupils and forge my invincible Tao heart with your blood. As he spoke, his aura surged skyward. He rejected fate, yet his resolve to kill Su Chen was absolute. Meanwhile, in the ancient emperor city, Su Chen was oblivious to Yumingzi's plight. Having ascended to the top of the trial divine stele, he became the talk of the crowd, yet he remained utterly composed. With a light step he passed through the throng, and reseated himself atop the fire-cheeling beast preparing to depart. But at that moment, "Young master, please wait." An unexpected voice halted him. Turning, Su Chen saw none other than the True Moon Fairy. His brow furrowed slightly as he regarded her, speaking flatly. "What is it?" His words were terse. Though the True Moon Fairy was peerlessly beautiful, Su Chen was no starry-eyed fool. Given his status, even the top beauty on the rankings could be his for the asking, let alone her. "Congratulations, young master, on claiming the first place on the trial divine stele. Your talent is truly unmatched. Might I have the honor of inviting you for an evening?" The True Moon Fairy bowed slightly, a smile gracing her lips, her graceful figure fully displayed. "By the heavens, the True Moon Fairy is inviting the heavy pupil bearer for a night meeting. Has any man ever received such an invitation from her? Truly, my friends, I am green with envy. For beings like us, she is but a distant star, yet now she actively courts him. It's a cruel world of comparison. Don't stop me. I challenge the heavy pupil bearer. The True Moon Fairy is mine. No one's stopping you. If you seek death, go ahead." Forget it." In that moment, countless hearts were shattered. Their goddess, once unattainable, now sought to throw herself at another. "Sorry, I'm not free." Su Chen refused decisively. He was about to reap the benefits from Lin Yan, his cash cow, and had no time for romantic dalliances. With that, he ignored her, tapped the fire chelan, and vanished before the True Moon Fairy could react. The True Moon Fairy was taken aback. Every prodigy she had met had been courteous and respectful. Even the saint sons of great sects had never slighted her so. Yet this Su clan heavy pupil bearer paid her no heed. The stark contrast stirred her anger, her chest heaving. But recalling she might need his help, she forced down her fury. The onlookers below were stunned. Their goddess had offered herself only to be rejected. Is this the gap between us? Is this heavy pupil bearer a fool? To reject the True Moon Fairy outright? If you don't want her, give her to me. A chorus of envious lamentations rose. Back at the city lord's mansion, Su Chen walked straight into the secret chamber. He produced the reward from his earlier check-in, dragon vein black gold. It was a piece of black immortal gold half the size of a football, shimmering with flowing light and dense Dao runes. Within it, a small black dragon swam, exuding an extraordinary aura. This amount of dragon vein black gold is enough to forge a Dao weapon. Murmuring to himself, Su Chen's thoughts turned swiftly, and he decided to cast it into a divine cauldron. The cauldron, a vessel of the Dao, could stabilize the heavens, suppress all beings, and anchor the mountains and rivers. Its 3 legs, 2 ears, and round form embodied the supreme truth. The Tao begets 1, 1 begets 2, 2 begets 3, and 3 begets all things. With that decision, Su Chen wasted no time and began. Countless streams of primal power surged from his golden bitter sea, while dense Tao runes evolved in the void. As a divine, immortal gold, dragon vein black gold was indestructible and eternal, far beyond the reach of a mere bitter sea realm cultivator like Su Chen. Thus he planned to first forge the divine cauldron's form using his own primal power and principles, then slowly refine the black gold within it. Golden primal power intertwined with myriad Dao runes, shaping the form of a divine cauldron. 3 legs, 2 ears, a circular body. The cauldron's walls were etched with Dao patterns, each a manifestation of Su Chen's understanding. Fused. Seeing the cauldron's form nearly complete, Su Chen opened his eyes, cast the dragon vein black gold into it, then bit his tongue, spitting a mouthful of heartblood essence into the vessel. Buzz. Buzz. The cauldron trembled, emitting mysterious energies that enveloped the black gold, beginning a slow refinement. Yet the dragon vein black gold, being immortal gold, was too hard. The cauldron's energies could not move it an inch. Unfazed, Su Chen withdrew the cauldron and black gold into his bitter sea, then activated his 3 bitter sea Dao fruit bodies, channeling vast primal power to slowly refine it. Time was on his side. He could wait. Under the erosion of 3 golden figures representing the fruits of his bitter sea Dao, along with a vast amount of primordial power, the dragon-patterned black gold began to slowly merge with the embryonic divine cauldron. Although the fusion process was painfully slow, Su Chen was not the least bit anxious. He believed that as his cultivation advanced, the complete fusion of the embryonic divine cauldron and the dragon-patterned black gold was merely a matter of time. Moreover, this divine cauldron was destined to be his future instrument of enlightenment. A slower pace was acceptable. What mattered most was absolute perfection, free from any flaw. If he were to pursue fusion speed and end up with a flawed cauldron, it would be a loss far outweighing the gain. After confirming that the embryonic cauldron and the dragon-patterned black gold had begun their slow merger, Su Chen withdrew his gaze from his bitter sea. Next, I only need to wait for Lin Patian to bring his men here. After I've harvested all those leeks, I can deal with Lin Yan. Taking a deep breath, a faint smile curled at the corners of Su Chen's lips, his anticipation for the coming day immense. The night passed without incident. The next morning, a warm sun pierced through the clouds. The ancient emperor city was unusually quiet. The usually bustling streets were deserted, and all the shops were closed. The silent atmosphere gave an illusion of an impending storm. On the 10th-meter-high city wall of the ancient emperor city, Chen lay languidly on a luxurious chair. At his feet, the fire-chilling beast crouched quietly, and behind him stood the 300 Saint veterans. Under his orders, Zhou Ming had issued a curfew in the ancient emperor city. Today, no one was allowed to leave their homes no matter the time. Chen looked with amusement towards a giant flagpole not far away. At the top of the pole, Lin Yan was hung. He looked utterly miserable now. His limbs had been severed, and the skin all over his body was rotting. A foul-smelling pus continuously oozed from his wound. The look in his eyes as he stared at Chen was one of unforgettable hatred. If looks could kill, Chen would have died hundreds of times by now. Don't look at me like that. After today, you'll be free. On the road to the Yellow Springs, you won't have to worry about being lonely. Everyone related to you, including your father, will— Chen chuckled softly, his casual words echoing in Lin Yan's ears. Chen, you will die a miserable death. Even if I die, I will curse you from the underworld until the day you descend. Lin Yan roared, intermittently coughing incessantly as he spoke. His entire body was covered in wounds, making even the simplest act of speaking extremely difficult. I could crush you like an ant when you were alive, so what makes you think death will change that? Stay put. The real show is about to begin. Chen said lazily. Just then the void suddenly began to tremble violently. Here they come. Chen looked up and saw countless black warships emerging from the void. The sunlight was blocked by the warships, turning the previously clear weather dark and gloomy. An oppressive, murderous atmosphere spread out. Kill! A thunderous roar erupted from the warships, and faint traces of killing intent permeated the air. The next moment, Lin Patian stepped out from a warship and appeared not far from Chen. Behind him were all the saint-level powerhouses of the 8 ancient clans. Chen, hand over my son Yin, or else, even if your Su clan is an imperial clan of this era, you will not escape death today. Lin Potion's voice resounded through the clouds. At this moment, he looked proud and confident, a stark contrast to the beaten cur he was 3 days ago when Chen stepped on him. Is today the day I die? Chen glanced mockingly at Lin Patian. He suddenly rose from his languid posture on the chair, his aura bursting forth like a peerless divine, sword sharp and fully exposed. Hep, who gave you the nerve to speak to me like that? Get down here. With his low shout, one of the veterans behind him suddenly stepped forward and with an expressionless face struck out with a palm. A massive gray hand materialized in front of the 8 ancient clans and slammed down fiercely. You brat, how dare you? A saint-level elder from the 8 ancient clans saw this, shouted, and quickly moved forward to intercept. But in the next instant, boom, a violent explosion erupted, shaking the very space itself. The countless warships floating, all the cultivators on the warships were instantly killed, turned into clouds of blood mist. A torrent of blood fell like a storm, dyeing the ground a dark hue. The saint-level powerhouses of the 8 ancient clans were all furious, their eyes burning with rage. Those were the elites of their clans, the very foundation of their existence. Yet now they had all been wiped out without warning. Just thinking about it made their hearts bleed. At the same time as the members of the 8 ancient clans perished in great, a series of system notification sounds rang out in Chen's ears. Ding dong, you have killed someone related to the Heavenly Mandate protagonist Lin Yan. Heavenly Mandate villain points 100. Ding dong, you have killed someone related to the Heavenly Mandate protagonist Lin Yan. Heavenly Mandate villain points 100. These people were related to Lin Yan, but their connections were not close. Therefore, the Heavenly Mandate villain points they provided were not substantial. Fortunately, quantity made up for the lack of quality. Just from this wave, he had gained nearly 600,000 Heavenly Mandate villain points. A bountiful harvest. A smile involuntarily appeared on Chen's lips. Let's attack together and kill him. The remaining members of the 8 ancient clans, now hating Chen with a burning passion, were eager to devour him alive. With a furious roar, they all surged forward, seeking death. The 300 great saint veterans stepped forward in unison, their gazes cold and sharp as they swept over the crowd. Their terrifying great saint might erupted simultaneously. In an instant, heaven and earth shook and the entire space trembled from the oppressive aura. The members of the 8 ancient clans who had been charging forward involuntarily halted, their eyes filled with terror as if they had seen a ghost. Those 300 veterans were all great saint-level powerhouses. They knew that in their entire alliance the number of great saints was only 7. And their opponent, 300 all great saints. 7 against 300. How could they possibly fight? Could this get any more absurd? Lin Potion, what is the meaning of this? Feng Wuji and the others turned to look at Lin Patian angrily. Even Lin Kuan, standing nearby, was now visibly furious. According to Lin Potion's account, they had believed that the protectors by the side of this Su clan double pupil bearer were at most a few Saint King realm experts. But what was this now? 300 great saint-level protectors. Everyone felt a chill run down their spines. Even with Lin Lan a half-step supreme backing them, their fear was uncontrollable. For the Su clan to dispatch 300 great saints as protectors meant this young man's identity was far more significant than just a double pupil bearer. If he were to die here, the Su clan would surely go mad, retaliating without regard for cost. Thinking of this, everyone was terrified to the extreme. The mad vengeance of an imperial clan that had endured for countless epochs. The mere thought made their skin. Lin Potion, you will die a miserable death. Feng Wuji, realizing he had been schemed against by Lin Potion, cursed wildly. The others from the other clans now also looked at Lin Patian with dangerously sharp eyes. Lin Patian remained oblivious to the stares of the crowd. He had to rescue Yenner, and for that he was willing to pay any price. Everyone, there's no use in saying more now. Join me in slaying Su Chen to save Yenner. Afterward, whether you wish to kill or flay me, Lin will accept it without. Lin Yan growled, then bowed to the assembled crowd. He then bowed deeply toward a void in the distance. I implore the ancestor to act and help me rescue you. The 7 clans members, realizing they had been deceived, seethed with fury, but had no outlet. They understood that since the deed was done, there was no turning back. They could only steel themselves and press forward. Even if they wished to retreat now, the Su family would never forgive them afterward. The majesty of an imperial clan was not to be insulted. These were not empty words. Lin Potion, you truly are a worthy son of the Yen clan, daring to scheme even against your own ancestor. At that moment, Lin Lan suddenly emerged from the void. He snorted coldly, casting a frigid glance at Lin Patian. This operation had not only ensnared the 7 clans, but had also caught him in its web. Everyone had become a pawn in Lin Potion's scheme to save his son. Had they known that Su Chen was guarded by 300 sage-level protectors, not even Lin Lan would have dared to act. After all, even as a half-step sovereign, he could not bear the relentless retaliation of the imperial Su clan. Yet with matters already at this point, they had no choice but to grit their teeth and proceed. Now all they could do was pray that the ancient divine mountain would be resolute enough to shield them from the Su clan's vengeance. With this thought, Lin Lan abruptly turned to Su Chen. Boy, I must say your luck is truly abysmal. Born with divine eyes and into the imperial Su clan, you should have been invincible in this era, if not for me. Today I shall blot out the sky with my hand and erase a prodigy. As he spoke, he strode step by step towards Su Chen. His pace seemed unhurried, yet each step was as if he were shrinking the earth beneath him. In an instant, he stood not far from Su Chen. The pressure of a half-step sovereign radiated from him, bearing down upon Su Chen. Even a mere wisp of such pressure was terrifyingly oppressive. Yet facing Lin Lan before him, Su Chen showed no trace of fear. Instead, a faint smile curled at the corners of his mouth. Tisk, a half-step sovereign ancestor from the Yen clan. What a grand gift. Familiar with the original story, Su Chen had long known of Lin Lan's existence, and he had already prepared countermeasures in advance. Su Jiao, it's your turn. Su Chen murmured. Leave it to me, Imperial Prince. Su Jiao's figure materialized before Su Chen, his cultivation of Quasi-Emperor's 7th layer erupting violently. In an instant, he neutralized Lin, a Quasi-Emperor. Interesting. But if you think this can stop me, you underestimate a sovereign. Su Jiao's sudden appearance startled Lin Lan briefly, but only briefly, for he was a half-step sovereign. Below a sovereign, all are ants. These were not empty words. Watching Lin Lan's arrogant expression, Su Chen merely smiled. A half-step sovereign. So what? Yin clan brat, after countless eons you still love to show off. But you dare to act arrogant before my imperial prince. You're courting death. Su Jiao roared at Lin Lan, erupting with a wild, oppressive aura. In the next moment, his hunched figure straightened, his graying hair regained its luster. In an instant, he transformed from an old man into a handsome youth. It's you. You're still alive, Su Jiao. Seeing Su Jiao in his youthful form, Lin Lan was astounded, his voice stammering. No wonder. During the Taboo era, the name Su Jiao the Godslayer was legendary. He had followed the great emperor through countless battles, truly dominating an entire age. In those days, Lin Lan was nothing compared to him, not even worthy of polishing his shoes. You? Weren't you supposed to have fallen long ago? Why are you still? Lin Lan involuntarily stepped back, intimidated by Su Jiao, though he was a half-step sovereign and the other only a 7th layer Quasi-Emperor. If it came to a real fight, Lin Lan had little confidence. After all, his half-step sovereign realm was achieved by devouring a portion of the elixir of immortality. It was unstable. And Su Jiao, in the Taboo era, he was an unparalleled prodigy, contending on the imperial path alongside Su Tianqing, invincible across the world. A true taboo anomaly, cross-realm combat was child's play for him. What terrified Lin Lan even more was that Su Jiao had just addressed Su Chen as imperial prince. For someone of Su Jiao's stature to use such a title could only mean that Su Chen was the son of that legendary taboo figure, and Lin Lan had just attempted to kill him. At this thought, fear consumed Lin Lan's heart, and his body trembled uncontrollably. The members of the 8 ancient clans behind him witnessed this scene, terror dawning in their eyes. Lin Lan was trembling. What kind of being could instill such fear in a half-step sovereign? The thought cast a shadow over everyone's hearts. Their gazes toward Lin Patian grew more venomous, wishing they could devour him alive. If not for him, none of this would have happened. Meanwhile, Lin Patian himself began to panic, his earlier arrogance fading from his face. Yet seeing Lin Yin hanging on the flagpole, tortured beyond recognition, he gritted his teeth and stepped forward. I beg the ancestor to rescue Yenner. I alone will bear the karmic consequences of this affair. Silence. Lin Lan shot a murderous glare at Lin Potion, tempted to strike him dead. You'll bear it. Can you even bear it? Yet he refrained from acting. After all, with matters already at this point, killing him would solve nothing. The only way to break the deadlock now was to capture Su Chen alive and hand him over to the ancient divine mountain in exchange for protection. For Su Chen's identity was far too significant. He was the son of a great emperor. After this incident, the Su clan would surely go berserk. Only an entity like the ancient divine mountain could possibly save Lin Lan's life. With this in mind, Lin Lan forcibly suppressed his fear, confronting Su Jiao. Su Jiao, I admit you are powerful, but this is no longer the taboo era. I am a sovereign. If you obstruct me today, I will have no choice but to send you to your grave. As he spoke, he unleashed his sovereign pressure and lunged at Su Jiao, courting death. Su Jiao's eyes blazed with killing intent as he intercepted without hesitation. Kill! A low guttural roar erupted. Su Jiao and Lin Lan struck simultaneously, unleashing a terrifying and overwhelming force. Beneath this dreadful aura, heaven and earth fell silent. All beings trembled. The weaker ones collapsed to the ground, unable to withstand the oppression. Seeing this, Su Chen took out the quasi-emperor ray disc and laid down a protective formation, shielding the 300 veteran soldiers within it. As for the members of the 8 ancient clans not far away, they were already crushed beyond resistance. Some even had numerous cracks appearing on their bodies, on the verge of fight among the stars. Lin Lan shifted the battlefield to the starry sky. Oomph! Su Jiao followed swiftly, letting out a cold snort. He threw a punch with devastating force, shattering stars and annihilating the void. The strike of a quasi-emperor possessed unimaginable power. Lin Lan dodged the incoming punch, appearing at the other end of the starry sky. His expression was cold, having already overcome his initial fear of Su Jiao. I am the supreme. I shall suppress and slay all. The era of taboo has ended, Su Jiao. Your glory has long been buried in the river of time. You are no match for me now. Countless cyan flames surged from his body. These were not strange fires, yet they were more terrifying than any. His supreme flames capable of scorching the heavens. The cyan supreme flames transformed into a fiery dragon charging at Su Jiao. Wherever it passed, the stars of the firmament were burned to ashes. Su Jiao's eyes flashed like lightning as he drew a heavenly blade, his weapon of enlightenment. In the past, it had slain countless supreme beings, staining its edge crimson. As it was drawn, a vision of mountains of corpses and seas of blood reflected from the blade. At his peak, Su Jiao was unparalleled in dominance. Even with his cultivation suppressed, his aura showed no weakness. The heavenly blade slashed horizontally, sending blood-red light, soaring, and tangible killing intent ravaged the stars. Like a war god, a colossal blood beast materialized behind him as he swung the heavenly blade down. In an instant, the sun and moon shook, and the entire starry sky trembled as if it might fall. Below, all members of the 8 ancient clans trembled, their skin crawling with goosebumps. Even from a distance, they could feel the terror of the battle in the stars. The stray energy alone made their hearts pound with fear. Suddenly the void quaked. Su Jiao let out a mighty roar, his spirit soaring unstoppable. He swung the heavenly blade, unleashing a blood-colored blade light. The fiery dragon formed from the supreme flames was shattered in an instant. The blood-colored blade light continued its path, aiming straight for Lin Lan's head. Startled, Lin Lan hurriedly dodged, staring at Su Jiao in disbelief. As a half-step supreme, he should have been invincible in this era. His opponent was merely at the 7th heaven of quasi-emperor. Yet now he was being suppressed. Die! After landing his strike, Su Jiao became like a demon, his killing intent soaring skyward. The blood beast phantom behind him let out a low rumble. His Tao was inherently focused on slaughter. Previously, due to internal injuries, he dared not unleash his full power. Now healed, he had no more worries. Killing intent poured out like an ocean, with visions of carnage swirling around him. He was like a hellish god of slaughter charging at Lin Lan. The heavenly blade slashed continuously, sending blood-colored blade lights ravaging heaven and earth, dyeing the entire sky crimson. Kill! With his full power unleashed, Su Jiao's strength was terrifyingly overwhelming. Even Lin Lan, a half-step supreme, grew increasingly alarmed as he fought, retreating step by step. So what if the era of taboo has ended? So what if you are a half-step supreme? With me, invincibility prevails. I shall cut down all with my heavenly blade. As a peerless prodigy of the taboo era, Su Jiu possessed an indomitable will. Lin Lan was battered and miserable. His first battle as a half-step supreme had turned out so lamentably. He was completely suppressed, powerless to fight back. Su Jiu, end this quickly. Don't waste time. Su Chen frowned slightly, sending a low voice transmission. He was tired of wasting time. This drama needed to conclude. As you command, young emperor. Sensing the impatience in Su Chen's tone, Su Jiu's eyes sharpened, and he erupted with even more terrifying combat power. Lin Lan was already barely resisting. Facing Su Jiu at full throttle, he became even more precarious. In moments, his pristine white robe was stained with blood, and his white hair was matted with gore, making him look utterly wretched. Su Jiu slashed a massive star apart with his blade. Moving with the stride of a dragon, he transformed into a rainbow light, appearing before Lin Lan and striking with all his might. Swish! The heavenly blade gleamed like a rainbow, its blood-colored light shimmering with dreadful killing intent. At the same time, the blood beast behind him let out a low roar, charging forward with its maw wide open to devour Lin Lan. This blood beast was formed from Su Jiu's killing intent, embodying his entire Tao. Lin Lan was terrified. Facing the charging beast, he felt the dread. He must not be hit. Otherwise, even as a supreme, he would fall off. With a roar, Lin Lan furiously burned his supreme origin. Countless cyan flames surged from within him, barely allowing him to break free. In that moment, the fear of death once again filled his heart. Su Jiu's strength exceeded his imagination. Even as a half-step supreme, with a cultivation level far above his opponent, he was still crushed, unable to even— Oh, you dodged it. Su Jiu glanced at Lin Lan in surprise, but quickly slashed again. The members of the 8 ancient clans below saw this, and felt a surge of despair. Lin Lan had lost. Their strongest pillar had shattered. What awaited them was the ruthless purge of the Su clan's young emperor. At this thought, all their faces turned pale. But then a sudden change occurred in the starry sky. Taoist friend, please spare him. An old man in gray robes appeared in the starry sky, rescuing Lin Lan from Su Jiu's heavenly blade. A supreme. From the ancient divine mountain lineage. Su Jiu squinted, fixating on the gray-robed elder with a grave expression. This gray-robed elder was a true supreme, far stronger than a half-baked, half-step supreme like Lin Lan. No need to be so tense, Taoist friend. I am not here for you this time. The gray-robed elder spoke with a smile, then turned his gaze to Su Chen below. Tisk, truly worthy of an emperor's progeny. So young yet already at such a realm. The future holds promise for achieving the supreme throne. But what a pity today is his death day. As he spoke, a terrifying supreme pressure burst forth from the gray-robed elder, dominating the heavens. He was the patriarch of the Primordial Bull clan from the ancient divine mountain. He had been in deep slumber, but Lin Lan's transmission had just awakened him. The Su clan's double-pupiled one was an emperor's progeny. Startled by this news, he rushed over without delay. The ancient divine mountain lineage had always been at odds with the Su clan, locked in covert struggles since learning of the Su clan emperor's progeny's emergence, they would not miss this opportunity. They directly dispatched a supreme-level powerhouse to assassinate him, eliminating the threat once and for all. Below, on the walls of the ancient emperor's city, Su Chen felt the gray-robed elder's terrifying killing intent. He stood up abruptly, his face darkening. I didn't expect your ancient divine mountain to meddle in this matter. You want my life? Let's see if you have the ability to take it. Su Chen roared in fury, showing no fear. Events had spiraled beyond his expectations, but so what? He quickly donned the indestructible battle armor. His cultivation instantly surged to the third heaven of the orifice-opening realm. At the same time, a tattered, blood-stained war banner shot out from his bitter sea and landed in his hand. The moment he grasped the banner, a profound blood connection surged within him. The battle flag soared into the air, its crimson surface flapping loudly in the fierce wind. This banner was none other than the Su family's forbidden emperor banner, a genuine supreme imperial artifact. In the bygone days, the Su family's great emperor, Su Tianqing, campaigned across the heavens, pacifying foreign realms, quelling forbidden zones, and repelling the dark turmoil. Wherever he passed, all beings bowed in submission. This forbidden emperor banner was the very standard he carried during his campaigns. The pole was forged from dragon-patterned black gold, while the banner itself was crafted from the skin of a taboo creature from a forbidden zone. Utterly terrifying. Moreover, the banner had once been stained with the blood of more than one great emperor and taboo creature, making it exceptionally fearsome. And perhaps because of the excessive slaughter in the past. This forbidden emperor banner was exceptionally ferocious. Once unleashed, few could completely control it. That is to say, only Su Chen, as the great emperor's true son, with an innate flawless bloodline, could master it perfectly. Otherwise, even a supreme-level powerhouse might not be able to control this battle banner. Since you intend to utterly kill me, then you, Taiga Divine Mountain, must be prepared to dye the heavens with blood. At this moment, Chen's hair flew wildly, his white robe flapping in the wind, giving him an overwhelmingly domineering aura, like a youthful great emperor. His pupils glowed, reflecting the cycles of the heavens, while countless rays of radiance emanated from his flesh, making him appear transcendent and ethereal. Though young in age, none present dared to overlook him. As he spoke, he suddenly soared into the sky, rushing straight into the starry void. The divine spirit within the forbidden emperor banner in his hand began to awaken, releasing a terrifying supreme pressure. Meanwhile, in the starry sky, Man Yue, the ancestor of the primordial divine bull clan, was confronting Su Jiao. Although Su Jiao could easily crush Lin Lan a half-step supreme, yet facing Man Yue, he was under immense pressure. The opponent was a true supreme-level powerhouse, flawless, ancient, and formidable. His existence could even be traced back to the early days of the ancient taboo era, surpassing some great emperors in longevity. Normally, he slumbered in divine sources, which is why his reputation was obscure, otherwise he would surely shake the heavens. Now that he acted, it was absolute terror. Even the unintentionally emitted aura caused the surrounding stars to tremble and fall. A supreme is supreme. With a thought, stars fall. With a word, heaven and earth perish. This was no empty saying. He, Taoist friend, please step aside. A supreme is supreme. With a thought, stars fall. With a word, heaven and earth perish. This was no empty saying. He, Taoist friend, please step aside. Man Yu laughed with a relaxed expression, but hidden within his smile was overwhelming killing intent, like a smiling tiger. One moment smiling warmly, the next ready to pounce and devour. Have you of Taigu divine mountain forgotten the ancient covenant? Supremes must not appear in the world. Do you think that you merely a supreme can truly be invincible under heaven? Su Jiao glared angrily and shouted loudly. Under the opponent's supreme pressure, his body trembled uncontrollably, yet he never bent or stepped back. Ancient covenant. The ancient era has already ended, scattered in the river of time. Why speak of the ancient covenant? Since the Taoist friend insists on blocking, then I have no choice but to send you on your way first. Man Yu sighed, his face full of compassion, yet his movements were anything but slow. A thumb-sized, seven-colored divine light shot out from the top of his head, rapidly evolving into a sword beam that slashed towards Su Jiao. Swish! In an instant, time and space shifted, the void trembled, and everything seemed to vanish. Only that sword beam remained. Su Jiao's expression changed drastically, and he swung his heavenly blade, sending out a blood-red saber glow. However, a strike from a supreme was terrifying beyond measure. The brilliant sword beam instantly shattered Su Jiao's saber glow and continued unabated, heading straight for his neck. At the same time, Man Yu roared, directly manifesting his Tintasanshang true form as a primordial divine bull, with horns sharp as blades charging. Not good. Su Jiao's face changed, and he hurriedly tried to dodge. But the brilliant sword beam was far too fast. In an instant, it reached him. In haste, he roared, and countless Dao runes surged out from his body. Each rune was incomparably brilliant, radiating dense blood energy and interweaving to form a blood shield. The brilliant sword beam struck the blood shield, shattering it instantly. Su Jiao himself was sent flying backward, crashing violently into a star. The terrifying impact instantly shattered the star behind him into pieces. I must say, you are quite impressive. You actually managed to block my strike. If given time to grow, you might become a top-tier supreme. But it's a pity. Today is the day of your demise. Man Yu's Tintasanshang true form instantly arrived before Su Jiao, its mountain-sized eyes filled with killing intent. The massive bull's hoof stomped down without hesitation. What are you so arrogant about? Do you truly take me for a junior descendant? At this moment, Su Jiao erupted completely. A massive blood beast emerged behind him, let out a low growl, then exploded into a vast ocean of killing intent. This killing intent then surged into Su Jiao's body. His aura skyrocketed. Burn. With the killing intent inside him, Su Jiao directly used a forbidden technique, frantically burning his Quasi-Emperor Foundation and vital blood. His cultivation rapidly soared. Quasi-Emperor 8th Heaven. Quasi-Emperor 9th Heaven. In less than a breath, his cultivation had skyrocketed to the 9th heaven of Quasi-Emperor. Then with a roar, he directly broke through to the half-step Supreme Realm. Old scoundrel, come fight again. At this moment, Su Jiao was like a demon god, madly slashing his heavenly blade at Man Yu. Lin Lan, watching from the side, was terrified. Only now did he realize how laughable his own half-step supreme cultivation was compared to Su Jiao. Interesting. The accumulated Dao fruit of several epochs plus burning your foundation to gain a temporary half-step supreme combat power. Man Yu clicked his tongue in admiration. Then he looked at Su Jiao with a pitiful expression. However, you may not know that a half-step supreme and a true supreme are completely two different worlds. With that, he struck swiftly, engaging Su Jiao in battle. The two fought fiercely, shaking the starry sky, causing stars to fall and turning vast swathes of the heavens into nothingness. Chi. Kill.
After 50 exchanges, man, you suddenly became frenzied, his terrifying blood pressure suppressing the heavens. Then he threw a punch that directly shattered Sujio's body. Without waiting for Sujio to reform, he quickly advanced to deliver the final killing blow. By now he was completely enraged. In his eyes, the fact that he, a true supreme, had been locked in battle with a mere quasi-emperor junior for so long was a complete He would bathe in the enemy's blood to wash away this shame. However, just then, a cold snort suddenly echoed from the end of the starry sky. Old scoundrel, die.